Hello everyone, are we live? I'm actually not sure. But yeah, if we're live then welcome everyone to another Wednesday Faction Wars. This time we have a little bit more tournament admin to do due to some late joining players, but it will be it will be a little bit more of a mess, but hopefully everything will go smoothly. Just gonna have to juggle the brackets around a bit more, but either ways, we are playing with a first round battle here between me playing as a vampire count, specifically using a master necromancer as the lord, versus dark elves from VM Flower. Let's just pull up our vampire count master necromancer. Last week I don't like. Okay, we switch. Yeah, we switch. We switch over now. Yeah, but yeah, VM Flower here doesn't really, didn't manage to check in on time, so the brackets isn't he doesn't have a bracket on the challenge, but, if he wins against me, then, well, he will be replacing my bracket, so yeah, there's that. One of Jet, let's just do that. Let me think what else. Curse of the Undead, we don't really need that. Might as well just get another additional zombie summon, raise that, Gaze of Nagash, Gaze of Nagash, let's do Gaze of Nagash and Invocation. I wanna bring Valhall's Dance Macabre, but like, I don't know. Anyways, let's just pick the rest of our army here, grab some Grave Gods with great weapons in case they're spamming, Death Gods, and then should I bring some Hex Waves just for the sake of it? Yeah, let's just, why not? Because we have a very, very cheap lord over here, so we are kind of safe in regards of funds expenditures. Let's just grab an armor piercing character there in case we need to do some character sniping and whatnot. Alright, let's grab a black coat just because why the fuck not? Yeah, like that. A lot of chaff. Yeah, too much chaff, I feel like. Yeah. What else? We need to bring maybe let's bring some Balefire and let's bring a Corpse Skull and a Holy Lowstone just to get some healing. And yeah, might as well just bring some this, and I think that's about it. Wait, hold on. No, I need 15 more gold. Damn it. That's not fun. Okay, let's just grab regular Grave Gods and that, and then just in case we can't really. I don't want to. Yeah, whatever. We're already bringing a shitty Master Necromancer. I think we deserve a break and bring some decent units. Wait, why the fuck is... Okay. Alright, let's just skip this lesser... Oh, wait, Hellsteed. We need a Hellsteed, not a... Okay. Okay. 400 gold left. We can buy something else. And, Okay, look. If this is a black art box, I am fucked. But if this is not, then I still have a chance. Actually, let me just switch over to this, and maybe more zombies, I guess. Not that it matters. But yeah, let's go. Bro's about to be kited to death. Necromancer hype. Bro's about to be kited to death. Maybe I still have a couple of Blood Knights, and maybe they'll do good. Maybe. Bring second corpse card instead of good boys. Let's see what happens. Oh well, anyways, that should be it for the army builds here. Let's just get ready. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna last long here. Actually, fuck the tithe. I don't really need the tithe. I mean, I only need pretty much one corpse card, right? And I've got a Hellsteed Lord flying around, and then Banshee here will be helping out with the melee fights down below. What else? If I switch over, can we get another? Nah. Oh, the problem is black aquasaurs. That might be it. Wait, hold on. If there are black aquasaurs, maybe perhaps. Oh, it's only a 60-hour. God damn it! No, it doesn't have enough. All right, fine. I'll do the unthinkable. I'll do the unthinkable and just grab a couple of these bad boys, and then these couple bad boys. You know, just adding a little bit more anti-infantry power. Oh, whatever. We die. This is vanilla, right? Yeah, there are no mods installed or anything. We're just playing some Conquest Mode. And yeah, on Pillar of Bone versus VM Flower, definitely a good player. I don't know if this is going to be a blackout box or whatnot, but if it's a blackout box, I'm kind of fucked. But I hope I can still stand a chance, but we shall see. God damn, that was fast. Bahrain already finished with his game. And I am just starting to load in. Bro, what the fuck were you on? Crit rule unit and ability limits and stuff, CA limits, but no mods. Yeah, basically. I don't know if I should just remove the fruit rule limit. Because I feel like in Conquest Mode, everything should go, right? So it should be fine. But yeah. Alright, Human Boy is streaming his new player tournament. Yeah. If you guys are interested in some new player action, do go ahead and check out Human Boy's stream. Otherwise, we do have some fun off-meta gameplay over here. Just trying to play with the Master Necromancer a bit and spam cavalry. I've got so much cavalry here. It's not even. I don't even know what happens if we have to deal with a freaking Black God box. Alright, Hellsteed and Necromancer at 1,300 something gold. And looks like we might have a bit of a connection issue, which I am very worried here. Like, goddamn, I am very worried about this. Because like we're streaming and okay, let me just turn off some tabs, and I hope it's not because of the tabs I have on, which is like in the 40s here. I do have quite a few tabs on, but yeah, I think that's about it for the army builds. We have basically a line of zombies, a few grave guards, two of them are great weapons, one of them the stonesman, self-regenerating version, and then two black knights with lances and barding, two regular black blood knights. Not that there's any regiment of renowned blood knights. Yeah, on the ground we have a group of these units. Corpse cart surrounded by the stonesmen, and yeah. In the skies, leading the army is a Master Necromancer. I saw somebody used it in a new player Conquest Mode tournament, and I thought, this is a pretty neat unit. I should probably try to use it. And here we are, going with some off-meta vampire count build, and yeah. Ready as well. Good luck, have fun. Alright, let's just start battle. Alright. I don't know this is gonna happen. What's gonna happen here, but ooh, it looks like we are indeed getting kited to death. Let's go. Alright, we are getting shot. But these are Black Knights, so they'll have to tank it. Alright, Alright, let's just shoot that. Ooh. Let's pull back and throw these into a charge. Alright, let's just move on over there. Fly him over that side and drop an invocation over here and give him some heals. Alright, can we get our units over to the battlefield? The leg! Connection! Alright, these are Brilliant Knights and these are Black Knights, so... Alright, we are breaking those mobility pretty damn fast, so that's nice. Let's just ignore those Scourge Runners. We don't really care about those. Alright. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, this is Malekith. Okay. That explains. Alright, let's just try and run those down. You drop in and our Blood Knights are almost dead. Great. Fucking great. We are so getting kited to death. Alright, let's just to see if we can okay, we can't get a double invocation, so we just have to use a single invocation. And all our mobility is dead. I mean, we still have one Black Knight, but that doesn't help. Alright, you guys pull back and go do something else. You guys keep pushing. Go ahead and charge them. You guys keep running and them down, saturate in. Yeah. The Knights pull back. Wait for the heals. You guys keep pushing up. I don't really care what else happening right now. Alright, you guys go and charge those guys, and yeah, let's just where is that unit? Oh, they're all there, okay. Alright. Alright, let's just keep those units pressured, and yeah. Our Blood Knights are almost dead. That was not great. Alright, Grave Guards, just keep pushing. I don't really care what's happening with you guys right now. We have the capture point. Ooh, ouch, that hurts. We lost too many of our Blood Knights in the initial, like, engagements. Ow! Master Necromancer is getting chomped. Wait, fuck? Okay, it's still there. Okay, cool. The healing is still coming in. Almost thought we lost the healing because of this dump. Shit. And the Master Necromancer is getting chomped. Not great, not great. Yeah. Man, the kite! The notorious VM kiting is there! Oh! No, okay, to be fair, that was a very legit tactic. I just wasn't prepared enough to deal with it. I overestimated the power of my Black Knights. And they got chomped. They got shredded pretty hard by all those missiles here. And I don't have enough like mobility pressure to keep that pressure on and all that. That was not great. Not ideal. Can we even get out of there? The double Blood Knights is almost dead as well. You guys keep chasing. Why are you just flying straight into the face of Malekith? Why are you like this? Alright, let's drop down. Keep pushing. The infantry just getting chomped. Not great. And the Blood Knights are almost dead, and I have no options against Malikov. Right. And both of my Blood Knights are almost done for. I mean, one of them is already done for, and then the other is also on the verge of death. And even my Necromancer is almost dead. Fucking great. Yeah, I don't know what to do right now, other than just to keep pushing. I mean, I have the capture point with some zombies, but they're not gonna get enough tickets in time. We're only in the first 5 minutes after all, and the Master Necromancer is still getting chomped. Yeah, I should have expected this, honestly, but yeah. Even then, it's still rough. Still rough. Alright, let's just shoot another. That was very minimal damage. And that's a lot of crossbow bolt, and our Necromancer is dead. That's probably GG. I am not sure about what's happening with the connection. Okay. I am kind of worried about the connection. I think the connection, like the visual data is stable. Yeah, I think this is GG though. Our infantry didn't do jack shit because we just got all kited to death. I think I got a bit too aggressive with my mobility, thinking that I could have caught the enemy mobility, but I definitely did not. I probably yeah, I probably should have skipped the Grave Gods and bring more skeletons and more mobility. Like some flies would be nice, actually. Yeah. Okay, I haven't played Vampire Counts for a while, so I need to relearn the faction a bit here. Yeah. Like against Dark Elves, there are two ways for Dark Elves to play against Vampire Counts, right? So Blood Knights try their best, just not quite able to earn back their own value, unfortunately. Getting targeted very hard by all those AP missiles. You can see the Dark Elves are completely going into the kiting route here. Not a single melee infantry, just some mobility to like screen out my cavalry. And the anti-large armor piercing of the Koan Knights do trade well into my Blood Knights. I have 2 Blood Knights, but they have 3 Koan Knights, so there was a lot of mobility there to chill through my Blood Knight cavalry, and then I got too much investment into these Stonesmen and Great Weapon Grave Guards, who didn't do anything at all in the battle. Just constantly getting out-kited, couldn't really get into a fight. So perhaps I probably should have just cut those and bring like this. I don't know. What does okay, actually something like, I don't know, yeah, maybe something like, ooh, actually Hax Wraiths might be an interesting pick here. Instead of Blood Knights, can we just go Hax Wraiths and chill, guys? Yeah, the problem is if I go for a anti-kiting, I can't really counter a possible Dark Elf Halberd box. So that is still a very rough matchup. Yeah, but yeah, GG to our opponent there. Very nicely played by Flower, and let's see. All right, cool. Let's just check. Whose flower is supposed to play against. All right, it seems that it is Oishikunare Kitang, and I don't know. I don't want to. Like every time I have to call this player, I will be. I know that in the back of my head, I know that I'm reciting a freaking line from an anime, but there's literally no way else to identify the players. So yeah. All right. All right, cool. I was just sorting out the tournament admin stuff just to tell the next round's player Oishikunare Kitan he'll be playing against Flower. While at the same time, it seems that quite a few battles were over. Kukinko playing as Nurgle versus Bahrain's Chaos Dwarfs, and it seems Bahrain has advanced, while Gentle Red has won against Garbrand. So yeah. Ooh, do we have Ooh, we do have a spectator slot here, so we can just jump in and screen blocker this, and then start observing the battles. Oh wait, hold on. I am worried about the connection here, cause the connection was a bit laggy in our previous battle already. What happens if we add another player in here? All right, cool. Seems like it would be Wood Elves versus Dark Elves in this battle here. I might, due to the fact that we had some connection issues, very minor connection issues, but connection issues nonetheless, between our game versus VM Flower. So we might actually drop out halfway if the connection really starts to become a pain. But yeah, anyways, let's just catch up with the chat. In your opinion, Jamal the gamer, in your opinion, what is the hardest faction in Warhammer 3? I would like to challenge myself with Ultimate Crisis Mode. Hard can mean different things in different contexts in campaign. Probably something with really bad economy. Maybe Oscar. The thing about like unmodded gameplay of Total Warhammer is that the AI doesn't actually become tougher to beat. They just have more cheats open. In the higher difficulties, I think, like they have probably just more resources. They know where army is, and also like for AI battles, the higher the difficulty, the better the stats of their units are. So in the end, you just end up constantly fighting really horrible battles just because your opponent is turning on cheat codes and getting obscenely better stuff than you. So that's why I don't really enjoy playing against the AI. It's like, it's not like a battle of equals, it's just a battle of you versus a cheat engine. But otherwise, if you just like building empires, it is still a very good game. Yeah. What do you think about? Okay, I'm just gonna skip the ad stuff here. About like campaign. Flower has impressive micro. Getting the Dark Rider crossbows to shoot feels impossible to me. Yeah, especially like the Dark Riders with crossbows, constantly having like they don't have 360 shooting, so you need to just back and forth micro them around and constantly retreat them, protect them from enemy mobility. And Flower did really well in screening out my mobility. Like every time I thought I'm gonna catch up with the Dark Riders with repeater crossbow, he charges in with the Cold War Knights, which I do not have charge orders on, and which means I don't get the charge attack onto his Cold War Knights, and instead my Blood Knights get charged on. I mean, I think I did manage to get the switch the attacking order onto the Cold War Knights fast enough. It's just that the Blood Knights doesn't have armor piercing and the Cold War Knights do, and on top of that, Malekith just helping out in the fight just tips the combat more into the favor of the Cold War Knights in the end. So yeah, that was quite rough. I feel like Total War Esports is not getting the recognition that it should. Would love to see something like Dota 2 level of esports or even LOL events. Yeah, I think this would have been like the thing is, like, Total Warhammer used to have a really active multiplayer scene back in Total Warhammer 2, but they fumbled the release of Total Warhammer 3, and like the multiplayer scene took a hit, and I don't think we ever recovered to that level of activity. Like we had like a whole Warhammer World Cups kind of thing, co-organized by numerous content creators and funded by a lot of like players from the community. People who were just donating to just fund the prize pool and whatnot. It was absolutely amazing. Like it was like watching a bunch of random people coming together for this big amazing project, and it was definitely like the peak of Total Warhammer multiplayer. And then everyone's super hyped with like constant updates in Total Warhammer 2. That was just something else, but I don't think we ever got back to that level, especially like ever since Total Warhammer 3, a bunch of older veterans of the community started bowing out, and like Rubber Dog of War, he who used to be like a really major Total Warhammer content creator and streamer, Total Warhammer host, and also Logic EU as well. Like these two are the two I can recall off the back of my head, and a few more other like veterans who used to like be really active in the scene, but they just kind of bowed out due to like real life issues or burnout or stuff like that. So yeah, we were not, unfortunately, as much as I don't enjoy saying this, we're not exactly at the peak of the multiplayer of Total Warhammer. Like the game itself is getting better, and we do have some really solid gameplay, really amazing gameplay, but we lost a lot of like veterans in the community when we switch over to Total Warhammer 3, especially with C implementing domination without like speaking to the wider community, and just kind of divided the player base. And yeah, it's just yes, I don't really want to do too much, emit too much negativity on the stream, but this is something I do say that it's a shame. It's something that I think it's a shame since the beginning of Total Warhammer 3. It's just the release wasn't handled properly by CAN, especially the introduction of the new game modes and all that, and yeah, like yeah, it's not great. I mean, we still have a lot of we still have quite some active players, and yeah, and it's not like the multiplayer of Total Warhammer is. I don't think the community can sustain like a League of Legends, or not even League of Legends, or even Dota 2 or level of esports. Like the player base just isn't big enough to be there. I feel like even among Total War, the multiplayer scene is still a kind of a niche. Like not a lot of players actually goes into multiplayer. If you check onto the Steam achievements, I think there's like only 30% of players actually played a single multiplayer battle, and a bunch of them are just playing it for the sake of getting the achievement. So yeah, even like not even among Total War Warhammer players, like even multiplayer is not that popular even among Total War Warhammer players. Like when you think about it, like Total War is a niche among, like RTS is a niche, and Total War is a niche among, like it's one of the niches among the RTS niche. And then within this Total War niche, we have the Total War Warhammer niche, and because there's still a bunch of historical fans. And then within this Total War Warhammer niche, we have the niche among the niche among the niche, the multiplayer Total War Warhammer niche. It's which means we are just kind of like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a wider scene. So it's not like we have that big of a player base to begin with. In all honesty. Anyways, for the army built here for the wood elves of Oishikunare Kitang on we have a front line of dryads here with one single wildwood rangers. Now that they don't need any more forest to actually use their Guardian of the Wildwood ability, and also just got a little bit of ability stats revamp, they are actually useful for once. But of course, this only applies if there are nearby units applying terror, but there are no terror causing units on the Dark Elf army, so this might be a bit rough for the Wood Elves. Anyways, a second line of ton of Glade Gods and Eternal Gods holding the back line. They're getting hit by a bit of a Flock of Doom, and then a bunch of Wild Riders providing some mobility. The front line engagement is already going on there as a bunch of multiple Scourge Runner chariots from the Dark Elves slamming in, trying to work down the Wildwood Rangers with some charge impact damage, but the Wild Hunters of Kurnos counter-charging, absolutely obliterating one of the Scourge Runner chariots on the charge. The rest of the Dark Elf units are moving in as well on the flanks. There is a bunch of Koan Knights and Dark Riders and a front line of Black Corsairs plus Bleak Sword. Leading the army is a High Beastmaster, quite interesting indeed. There's also the Tormentor Sword on the leader, so he can actually lock down enemy mobility, preventing them from moving. But right now, it seems that the Dark Elves took the worst end of. Maybe took a quite even engagement, actually. One Scourge Runner is gone, but the Wild Hunters of Kurnos also expose themselves to quite a bit of a Scourge Runner and Large Fire. More Wild Riders are charging in, trying to catch up on these Koa Knights and start dragging them down. A little bit of stuttering here and there, but I think the battle is still going on. So it should be fine for now. While the Glade Gods are advancing, trying to get some shots onto enemy units. Oh no, the Wildwood Rangers are trying to advance, but they're not braced. Not that they have any charge defense, but bracing, regardless if you are an anti-large infantry or not, does help against enemy charging. So you can see these Glade Gods here took less damage than the unbraced Wildwood Rangers against the Scourge Runner Chariots charge. But either ways, the Glade Gods are now silenced, which is the main point here, while the Koan Knights and the Dark Riders are slamming into the flanks, trying just to work through the enemy defenses. But here is another Scourge Runner Chariot overstaying the welcome in the middle of a bunch of Glade Gods and get picked apart by, yet again, the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Another Flock of Dooms from the Sorceress of Beast here, draining down a bunch of quite expensive infantry as the Wardens of Cithro taking some noticeable damage from those Flock of Dooms. What else do we have on the battlefield here? Dryads are getting picked apart as the Black Corsairs do have the anti-infantry bonus to punch through their 60 armor and physical resistance, and also the Koan Knights are in the vicinity as well. Now the Black Corsairs are going after the enemy Eternal Gods. While the Wildwood Rangers taking too much damage from the Scourge Runner Chariot's charge and will be broken off by the Bleak Swords here, and Scourge Runner Chariots continues to cycle charge around the battlefield, but they're kind of stuck in the middle of a bunch of Wild Riders, so that is not great for them. Taking a little bit too much damage, it will leave the battle routing away. Glade Gods are being caught by a rear charge from the Dark Riders, and both players are still engaging heavily with those mobility there. Wild Riders duking it out against the Koan Knights, and Eternal Gods are saturating in to provide some anti-large armor-piercing support. Eternal Gods is a very, very cost-efficient spear unit against heavy cavalry, simply because they have armor-piercing, which none of the other regular spear units have. So that's really nice because they can just trade so well into enemy heavy cavalry. Now, Wild Riders charging into Cold Knights, this is not great for them. They don't have a lot of armor to tank the damage. Not that it matters in this case. They use their physical resistance to tank damage, if anything. But they're still rather fragile, and they don't have that kind of armor piercing to punch through enemy defenses. But they do have great charge bonus. And that they are definitely leaving a dent on the Cold One Knight's HP bar, and also the Dryads saturating in. Wait, actually, this is a Spellweaver of Beasts. So it is a battle of Flock of Dooms, actually. Both sides getting some solid value from those Flock of Dooms for sure. If we can see the Sorceress of Beasts, 1,100 gold worth of damage value, 900 on the Spellweaver of Beasts leading the Widow of Army. Now the Wardens of Sephiroth decided to just ignore that Sorceress, trying to pile onto those Dark Riders here, providing some solid anti-large armor piercing fighting power. They are certainly an elite cavalry, but there's a lot of mobility piling onto them, even some bleak swords as well, and they're all juiced up by the murderous prowess, adding some additional damage output. And the Warden Sephiroth might be elite, but ooh, this might be a beautiful Flock of Doom. Yeah, indeed, covering so many Dark Elf units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Dark Elf, including actually 6, including the High Beast Master, but and also one of them, the chariots. But all the cavalry getting hit hard, but then the Dark Elves are retaliating with their own Flock of Doom, draining away the Wardens, and oh, that is also a 4 unit Flock of Doom, so quite a solid trade. And on top of that, the Wood Elves are in a bit of a might be a little bit a disadvantage in terms of balance of power here, as their mobility and missiles are basically dispatched. They still have a lot of infantry though, and that might... Wait, we're on the land battle map! Oh no! Oh well, whatever, it is what it is. Anyways, the Blackout Corsairs are cleaving apart enemy infantry, but they are sandwiched by some armor-piercing infantry and the Dryad, so they themselves are not having too much of a good time either. But yeah, the Wood Elves are in a slight disadvantage here, because their mobilities are pretty much gone, and they do not have any healing to keep those Wild Riders alive. And the Dark Elves do have control over the battlefield, having more mobility, able to just cycle charge around the battlefield. Ooh, but this is a nice catch. Sorceress of Beasts, you're surrounded by Eternal Gods with their spears, and then Wild Riders are charging in just to pin down that Dark Elf spellcaster, and also the Spellweaver herself is in the melee fight, but she is gonna retaliate with a Flock of Doom here, draining away the last bit of health on these Wild Riders. Unfortunately, they are actually they managed to get out of the range of the Flock of Doom. Yeah, I don't see well, maybe actually they didn't. It's just a Flock of Doom worn out. But either ways, on the far side, Flower is definitely on point with his mobility here, using those tattered but still fighting Scourge Runners to run down the remaining units of the Glade Gods. Though one of them actually got shot up by some regrouped Glade Gods, and yeah, one chariot model down, but the rest managed to get into melee against the Glade God and rout them off. And it is now just a matter of cycle charging from the Dark Elves here. The Wood Elves infantry are fighting hard, but every time the Scourge Runner chariots and the Dark Elf mobility cycle charges in, they will start taking some noticeable losses. But our balance of power is back into the middle, as the Wood Elves managed to dispatch that Dark Elf spellcaster. Don't forget, the Wood Elves do have quite a few infantry left. The Eternal Gods are definitely not going to go down without a fight, unless they are just... They got spammed with a Flock of Dooms, but there are no Flock of Dooms on the Dark Elf side, so the infantry is slightly more threatening against the Dark Elf units here, especially now that all that remains are some out of ammo. Oh, these guys still have ammo and are still shooting, but shooting against infantry is never worth it for Scourge Runners. You're basically expanding your balance of power, because ammo counts into balance of power, but you're not earning back the value. Oh, wait, no, they're shooting at the Wild Riders, which is a way better target, actually. So the Wild Riders are going to try to pull away before they get hit. For some reason, the Flock of Doom animation is still there. It must be the lag. Yeah, it's supposed to be a connection problem. Anyways, Glade Gods are aiming down their ammo onto the High Beast Master here. who is just trying to cycle charge enemy infantry and doing some pretty neat damage against the Dryads. Now that Chariots did receive a slight buff. Ooh, beautiful Tormentor Sword. Everything on the Wood Elf side try to charge in, counter charge these Scourge Runners, but a Tormentor Sword locking them down, providing a perfect target for the Scourge Runners to keep shooting at. But looks like the Spellweaver didn't quite get the memo of that she has to stay in the place and get locked down. Didn't actually get hit by the Tormentor Sword, and actually managed to chase off the Scourge Runners, and now charging into the High Beastmaster plus a bunch of infantry. Now that the Tormentor has won off, will be saturating onto the High Beastmaster and start dragging down this Dark Elf Lord. Some regrouped Koan Knights are trying to come in as well and provide some rear charging support. And if there is a mass route incoming, that might just chain route the rest of these Wood Elf forces. But here comes a backbreaking Flock of Doom, hitting a ton of remaining Dark Elf units. On the far side, some tattered Koan Knights are running down on these battered gods. But this unit of Eternal God, who is still having roughly 3/4 of HP, is not going to go down so easily, even with the rear charging and whatnot. These stalwart defenses of the Wood Elves here, they might be in the middle of a desert, but they are still fighting to protect the forest. And yeah, they are fighting back. And definitely using that armor-piercing valor. They are just so good against heavy cavalry with the Azar Spears, earning back their worth and then some more now. And every time these Koan cavalry charges in, and even the chariots charges in, they take a bunch of damage from those anti-large AP, and that shall be it. That shall be victory for the Wood Elves, as that one unit of Eternal Guard carried them till the end. And also Spellweaver, very important there, draining down the health, almost 2k worth of damage value. Damn, that's quite a bit. Draining down the health of the Dark Elves. Wild Hunters of Kurnos, a solid performance from those anti-large elite cavalry as well. The rest of the army, not so. I mean, Wild Riders did well. The rest of the army, not so much. It's really the humble but really crucial Eternal Gods carrying till in the late game, having that solid leadership, holding in battle, even up against the charge of a ton of Dark Elf units. Oh god, I have to fight against Wood Elves. Oh, brain. Oh shit. This is not great for the Chaos Dwarfs. As for the let me just finish this battle first. Dark Elves, one of the Scourge Runners got deleted quite early, but one of them got microed really well. VM Flower, definitely very strong a strong player with a strong micro, with great performance from some of their mobility as well, chasing down the enemy archers and whatnot. But unfortunately, losing that Flock of Doomcaster in the mid-late stage of the game was proved to be quite a painful loss, as they do not have a way to effectively drain down those Eternal Gods without taking losses. Yeah, they have to try to fight the Eternal Gods in melee, but all that's left on the Dark Elf side are, well, large targets, and the Eternal Gods are really good against that. With their solid stats and AP, and yeah, without the Flock of Dooms to counteract the enemy's Flock of Dooms, they were subjected to a ton of direct health drain that eventually attrition down the Dark Elf units. Brain, oh my god, I have to, yeah, let me just check. Strategies and tactics the players can pull off, I can see it making the crowd go wild, but I do feel like it can be kind of slow. Yeah, like, I think that was one moment in a previous tournament. It was on Rubber Duck of War's channel. It was, I forgot the player. Is it Aerocrastic? I think it's Aerocrastic. Pull off a bait and switch charge, and that was like a moment that my mind just goes, holy shit, what was that? And yeah, those kind of high tier micro is something that I haven't seen in a while now. Like Aerocrastic kind of, I think he went on to hiatus or something. Never had a chance to actually, yeah, I don't think I have a chance to see his gameplay up close and personal, just from somebody else's stream. I don't think I've ever played against him either. It's like, yeah, but yeah, we do have some really mind-boggling gameplay back in the day. It's just that I don't think, yeah, I don't think a lot of I don't think quite a few of those like elite players are no longer active. Like occasionally pop back for a bit, but yeah, it's a loss of it's a bit of a brain drain. Not gonna lie. Hopefully, Total War 40k would be different. That would be fun actually. I would love to see what kind of factions are we gonna be able to play. Like I want to play something either Necrons or Custodes. Both works. Or if I have to play Space Marine, either Iron Warriors or Iron Hands. Like Iron Warriors because I like the idea of like a brutal siege focus, like trench warfare. Space Marines or Iron Hands just because I want to play a ton of Dreadnoughts. Yeah, that's also like my my tabletop choice if I have to go Space Marine. But yeah, let's see if we see any lobbies. Oh, looks like Scarbrand is in the finals. Okay. Alright, cool. Let's see if we can join. Game full, that's fine. And then we go in and spectate. The good old usual password, turn on screen blocker, and we wait. Alright, Bahrain going for Chaos Dwarves versus Wood Elves from Oishikunade Kitan. I'm not gonna go with the rest of the line, yeah. Let's see what happens here. Wood Elves are definitely not bringing a conventional army. But Bahrain is a very seasoned Chaos Dwarf player. Let's see what he can take against the Wood Elves here. Because the Wood Elves missile power can actually sometimes beat Chaos Dwarfs just because they have like slightly cheaper but longer range missiles. But yeah, let's see what happens here. I'm just gonna drink some water and stay hydrated. Alright, looks like both players are ready, and let's unblock the screen. You can see the Chaos Dwarfs going for a sheer numbers approach. A whole 10 units of laborers, 5 goblins, 5 orc laborers, and then 5 units of blunderbusses ready to shoot against the Wood Elves. They might just get shot to bits by the Way Watchers, but we shall see, as there are also 2 units of magma cannons ready to just roast some pointy ears. On top of that, there's 1 unit of Kadai Fireborn ready to protect the backline here against enemy mobility. And they are quite key to like just hold down the enemy Wild Riders, but Wild Hunters of Kurnos will still make mincemeat of that monstrous infantry. Also profile of fire on this is a Bale Taurus, so no breath attack, just slightly cheaper flying mount, and also providing some slight bit of armor piercing fire melee power. Burning Hat and Fireball as the spell casting choices, and yeah, that's basically it for the Chaos Dwarf army. No doubt the Chaos Dwarfs are trying to box here, but what do we have here for the Wood Elves from Oishikunade Kitan's army? Like, the name of the whole line is so long that you can't even see everything on the freaking army performance tab on the top left. God damn it. Why do you have to get a whole freaking anime line as your whole username? Man. I mean, anime is great. I love Bocchi the Rock, but not in such a long line, bro. Bro. Alright, cool. Anyways, like, I don't want to just say Oishiku. I don't want to just say Oishi, because, like, I know that, like, in the back of my mind, I know that the whole line at least stops after the G. So I need to at least say Oishikunade Kitan to kind of, like, okay, to be fair, Kitan, I don't think Kitan is in the actual line. But even then, like, in the back of my mind, I feel like I need to say at least, I need to end this line at around Kitan. And anyways, I should stop complaining about a username. Yeah, focus on the battle, focus on the battle. Oh. Anyways, army builds, wild wood rangers, like sneaking through the tree lines, just trying to sneak past the enemy artillery and just ambush the enemy backline. Other than that, wild hunters of Kurnos, and on the other side, wild riders advancing towards the tree line as well. Wild wood rangers and way watchers scattered all over the battlefield as well. 3 units of way watchers, 3 units of wild wood rangers. And also 1 unit of Azrai Spears War Dancers. So a lot of scattered units on the Wood Elf side. Very interesting approach, very interesting deployment. Just trying to perform a surround on the Killstone forces. Wild Riders are holding back for now, don't really want to get in range against the enemy magma cannons. Ooh, nice shot from the arrows of Kurnos, but unfortunately just not doing a whole lot of damage. That does knock out quite a bit of HP on the magma cannon still, and that makes the Way Watchers easier to soften up those magma cannons. Nice shot from the Way Watchers as well. Good targeting priority onto the Killstone blunderbusses who have their backs facing, who are not facing exactly the Way Watchers, and the shield don't exactly work here. Though there are some retaliation from the magma cannon roasting some Way Watchers, and because of the vortex, in fact, quite a few of them are actually sucked into that flame blast. Losing quite a few unit models already. Dead Wood Elves on the ground. What else are we having here? Oh, it looks like the Wildwood Rangers are advancing out of the tree line, and Wild Hunters of Kurnos unleashing an ambush extremely close to the enemy blunderbusses line. Blunderbusses are quickly turning around, trying to fire, and ooh, looks like the Wild Riders are getting quite a bit of casualties from the magma cannon here, getting some solid work done. But Wild Hunters of Kurnos are able to quickly break these orc laborers and quickly hide back into the tree line, while these goblin laborers are just going to get chewed up by the Wild Wood Rangers. Looks like the Wood Elf army here, Oishi Kunare Kitan, is going with a little bit of kite play, but ooh, nice shot from the magma cannons, getting some really good work against the Azrai Spears. One third of the unit is basically deleted from that cast, but at the same time, 2 units of laborers have been picked off. Once the laborers are gone, then the blunderbusses will be very exposed to enemy melee. Wildwood Rangers, very nice micro from Kitan here, managing to pull back the Wildwood Rangers without over chasing into the range of the blunderbusses. While on the far side, Way Watchers are deleting this one magma cannon, standing a little bit too close to the front line there. The goblin and orc laborers are not standing far out enough to screen off the enemy archers, and the Way Watchers were able to reach 1 magma cannon and delete it. So this leaves only 1 single magma cannon remaining, and this is quite a bit of a rough spot for the Killstone army here, as they will really have to maximize the damage from this 1 magma cannon, because the other magma cannon didn't quite exactly do much work here. Though the blunderbusses are able to turn around and just blast at the Wild Riders there. These blunderbusses have their shields faced the right way, so they're just absorbing some shots from the Way Watchers, which is fine for them. Magma cannons continues fire, but missing. Quite unfortunate there. And unlike the regular dwarf army, they don't have any ammo refill. So yeah, this is going to be rough. And the blunderbusses might just wait for those Wildwood Rangers. Wait, Wildwood Rangers have stock. Oh god. That explains why the magma cannons weren't able to fire at them. They just couldn't see shit. They couldn't see anything. They couldn't see anything. The Wildwood Rangers are literally hiding from plain sight. Now the blunderbusses have no choice but to just sit there and eat those shots from the blunderbusses. Burning Head onto the White Watchers, but let's see if Kitan can dodge in time. Nope. Seems like it does not. It is not the case here. And a magma cannon shot and missing. That's some very unfortunate RNG. Doing a lot of damage to Way Watchers, but the problem is that there's no model kill, so they can stabilize their leadership and then just keep shooting. And yeah, this is quite rough for the Chaos Dwarfs. Another magma cannon shot. This time it better hit, and 11 unit models down alongside some burning head shots. And they were walking into the vortex for a bit too, so yeah. Now the Way Watchers have been routed. Although there is some spell casting coming in from the Wood Elves. Pit of Shades deleting some Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses. These blunderbusses are facing the wrong way, and the Azrai Spears are coming in. If they can get a volley out, at least they can do some good damage. Oh, knocking them over as well. That's really good, because it slows down the Azrai Spears, preventing them from actually getting the charge until they stand up again. But yeah, they're still getting picked apart by those Way Watchers. But laborers are out there screening, while wood rangers are being beaten up by the Kadai Fireborn, but not before leaving a dent on the Kadai Fireborn's HP bar. And the Way Watchers, these ones are actually getting close enough to the magma cannons and now start peppering down the Killstuff artillery. Oh, another quarter of HP down from the magma cannon. Another volley and they are done for. And that would leave the Killstuff with no agency whatsoever. No, the magma cannon has been routed. Oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad. And on top of that, the victory point was actually occupied by the Wood Elves, so there's no victory tickets coming in for the Killstuffs. The magma cannon has been dealt with, and now the Way Watchers can simply sit far away from the enemy formations and just keep shooting at the blunderbusses. Good news is that some of these Way Watchers are indeed quite low in HP, and the Killstuff blunderbusses can try to like just push in slightly closer and start shooting back, but yeah. Now the Way Watchers are just gonna sit back and kite more fireballs coming in, this time aiming at the Way Watchers, exploding quite a few of them, getting like a couple kills. Not exactly the best explosion, but it is still some damage is damage after all. And now the Kadai Fireborn are trying to push back those Wild Riders, but things are looking quite rough for the Chaos Dwarfs here. They don't really have the kind of firepower anymore without the magma cannons, and the Way Watchers are even going into melee to push back the blunderbusses. But yeah, this is a rough matchup for the Chaos Dwarfs, unfortunately. And yeah, Wild Riders are gonna go in up against the Kadai Fireborn, just trying to keep them occupied and allow the Way Watchers to keep shooting at them. The blunderbusses will take this opportunity, delete some Wild Riders with a Burning Head coming in as well. I don't think it's gonna rout the Wild Riders. Oh, it looks like the Burning Head goes into the right direction here, and the Wild Riders unfortunately just walked into that Burning Head, and yeah, they are being pushed back. And the Burning Head, funny enough, is still kind of moving alongside the Wild Riders in roughly the same speed and just keep doing damage. But right now, oof, things are looking quite rough for the Chaos Dwarfs after all. Their blunderbusses are also taking substantial damage from the Way Watchers, and the blunderbusses simply do not have the kind of range to shoot back. At this point, I do wonder if it would have been better to just spam a bunch of Hobgoblin Archers and just take a ton of Hobgoblin Spear Raiders as well. I don't know. It feels like a very hindsight thing to say, but blunderbusses, blunderbusses are definitely or maybe they should just spam a ton of Chaos Dwarf Warriors, but they're too expensive. I wouldn't say that's a good pick. Anyways, Pit of Shades are making short work of the blunderbusses with quite a dense formation, and maybe perhaps the Sorcerer Prophet needs to go into melee, perhaps. But yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of friendly fire. Pit of Shades hitting the Wildwood Rangers as well. But at this point, the blunderbusses are also almost all dead. Oh, some goblins managed to catch the Way Watchers, so that is some decent work. Now, that's some decent work for the lowly chaff. Now the Goblin Laborers are trying to go back to a catch up in terms of that victory point and just capture the conquest point again. But Wild Riders once again emerging out from the trees, which means the Laborers are not long for this one, just gonna get run down. And Way Watchers also shooting at the Killstuff blunderbusses from behind. Oh, a brutal prey of Anaphrema pinning down the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. And making sure he cannot reinforce other parts of the battlefield. And yeah, I don't think the Wood Elves can really win this at this point. They still have very healthy single entity, but they don't really have the kind of damage output to keep the. Maybe perhaps the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire can still win this if he can get some lucky engagements. And the Goblin Laborers are still pestering the Way Watchers with nothing to be nearby and save them. So that is a good news, I guess. And Shallows of Blood and Darkness continues to heal back up the health of the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. The only thing pretty much keeping the Sorcerer Prophet's of Fire healthy right now. But yeah, the Sorcerer Prophet will have to take a pick on something to fight instead of just flying around. Like, these Way Watchers are definitely priority right now. Although there are 2 units of Way Watchers firing at the flying cow, the Bale Taurus, having 15% of missile resistance only, so nothing too insane. Another fireball, really just spamming those fireball to kill off enemy units, knocking out quite a few models of Way Watchers here and there. And now the Sorcerer Prophet is flying close, and a hand grenade launcher is doing some decent work against the Way Watchers. Oh no! Oh wow, that was a nice dodge of the Sorcerer Prophet here. Actually managing to dodge quite a few shots from the incoming fire of the Way Watchers, but the side shot of the Way Watchers aren't actually dodgeable now that he's on the ground. And Wild Hunters of Kurnoss absolutely surrounding him with a devastating charge. Plus, Prayer of Anavrema pinning him down, and the Wild Riders coming in. Oh no, that is just leaving him to be executed by the Way Watchers. The Prayer of Anavrema leaving him immobile. And there goes the rest of his HP, and the rest of the leadership. Balance of power is in favor of the Wood Elves, and Oishiku Nanakitan is managed to secure victory with a very kite-heavy build here. A lot of damage done with the Way Watchers, especially, unfortunately, some, I would say a little bit of a screening mistake with the Magma Cannons. But it's a rough matchup for the Coast Elves here. Some blunderbusses did some really solid work here. Just that unfortunately, yeah, one of the Magma Cannon got outright deleted before earning enough of their damage value. Kadai Fireborn, I wonder if they shouldn't bring Kadai Fireborn and just bring a bunch of, bring some Spear Raiders. Yeah. Just to provide some mobility, and just to provide like 2 mobility units that can pin down, just to distract the Wild Hunters, Wild Riders, and so the blunderbusses can turn around and shoot. And yeah, it's a rough matchup. It's a rough matchup after all. Sorcerer Prophet Fire did some good damage, but unfortunately, just that the Way Watchers did some, just basically deleting all their important missile damage here. The Chaos blunderbusses, Magma Cannons, all getting shot from all sides. Not even the shield is enough here, because the Wood Elves targeting is very cunning, just circling the Way Watchers behind the blunderbusses, shooting from their unshielded sides and rear, so that the missile block chance doesn't come into effect. And yeah, very nicely done by the Wood Elves there. The melee infantry didn't do too much, being shot up by blunderbusses, but those kiting work was very on point by Kitang. But yeah, that is it for this battle, and we are moving on to the finals, I believe, between Wood Elves of Oishiku Nanakitan and Skarbrand as Khorne. Alright, cool. This is gonna be a solid end game. Where is the... Alright, looks like Skarbrand... What? Wait, that's the... Yeah, Skarbrand has their... Oh yeah, let's go. Skarbrand has the lobby open with the spectator spot, so I'm just gonna set up the screen blocker and we are ready to go. Oishikaru. Alright, hold on. Skarbrand, wow, I need to try hard chat now. It's not Oishikaru, it's Oishiku Nanakitan. Jujutsu Kaisen is the way, Leech? I don't know. This is probably gonna get me cancelled, but I'm gonna voice my opinion on Jujutsu Kaisen. So Jujutsu Kaisen, I would say, is a very controversial title now. I actually don't read it. I actually read it. I think I stopped at roughly 100 chapters of the manga, because I read on the article somewhere, it's like the author himself doesn't understand the infinite domain, the domain expansion of Gojo. So like, it's treated as a very powerful ability, but the problem is that not even the author himself understands the ability. So in essence, he is just kind of bullshitting his way through his work. Well, to be fair, like, that's basically all fictional work, right? But like, I don't know. I just don't really feel convinced by this kind of work ethic. Like, if you don't understand something, like if I'm trying to like create a story, I'll try to at least make a semi-convincing like theory behind something, say like an ability, to mix to just so everything kind of fits in, makes sense within the setting of the world. But here he is, like, he doesn't understand his own what the fuck he's writing himself. So I'm like, I don't really know what to feel about this work, so I'm just not gonna watch it for the sake of the story. Like, I did watch the movie of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is a great movie. It's a really well done with the music and animation, so I enjoyed it. But as a story as a whole, I don't know. Especially, like, the ending is very controversial, and then the final chapter is literally the author writing out explanation of why the ending has to be that way, and why he was spending the last chapter arguing with the audience, with the online trolls who were like criticizing him, who was spending the whole chapter in the end talking about how his ending, how the battles happen in the way he designed. And like, look, I know that you want to write an ending a certain way, but like, if people are criticizing you, don't bother spending the whole last chapter to just responding to online trolls or criticism. Like, it's not what a story should be. Just wrap up your freaking story with a nice exposition. Just wrap it up with a nice exposition, and it would have been nice. I would have respect that. Like, okay, you had a controversial ending, but you just kind of you took credit and you just kind of owned it. That I can respect that, but like, you don't try to like argue with online people, man. Like, just finish your story properly. Anyways, enough of anime. Now let's go back into the armies here. Marauders are the Khorne army is going with a front line of Marauders, and Skarbrand himself leading the army. Double skull cannon, the revamped skull cannons is here, and some mobility on the side. Hounds of the Bloodhound and a Marauder Horsemen of Khorne, more Chaos Warhounds, Furies, more similar stuff, Flesh Hounds and stuff. And the Widows going for a full Vanguard deployment. Wildwood Rangers all on the front line, charging into the Marauders, and on top of that, Wild Hunters of Kurnos, Wild Riders, all just Vanguard deployed. There are some not Vanguard deployed Loex Trickster sisters, these War Dancers with Azurai Spears here, but they are fast enough to just rush towards into the front line. They're saturating onto the Wild Riders, providing some solid melee support, including the Wildwood Rangers are joining in as well. They are getting that additional Guardians of the Wildwood plus 10 melee attack and additional melee weapon strength, and are cleaving asunder these Marauder Horsemen of Khorne. And the Azurai Spears also deleting the enemy large targets. One of the Marauder Horsemen is already repelled, though Skarbrand is here and still pummeling these Wildwood Rangers. Additionally, there are some Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards peppering down those Khorne forces. But right now the battle is quite even, as the... I don't know if the Skull Cannon actually did much damage. Yeah, it did some damage, did okay damage. Nothing too insane though. As the Widows managed to secure some very solid superiority over here, just cleaning up those enemy Marauder infantry, and then Dursu also fighting among the trees, providing some solid single entity fighting power. But Skarbrand comes in and just plows through those Wildwood Rangers with that collision attack and just takes a chunk out of Dursu with his axe. After all, he does fire damage, and Dursu is weak to fire as a big tree man. Now, Wild Riders over here and have taken quite a bit of noticeable damage, as they were the ones receiving charge from the enemy Flesh Hounds and Marauder Horsemen. And right now, Hounds of the Bloodhound charging onto them as well. They're dampened, but I don't think that matters. Like, the dampening would be nice against Wild Hunters of Kurnos to remove their magic attacks and whatnot. But right now, like, Skarbrand is just holding down a blob of Wildwood Rangers and Loex Trickster, but this is not a great engagement for him at all, being peppered by the Swift Shiver Shards, and on top of that, fighting among a bunch of anti-large targets. And on top of that, Dursu is here. Throwing axes are very key here to just kind of pepper down Dursu in the late game. And on top of that, ooh, Skull Cannon. This is why Skull Cannons are good now. You can see how much damage they do to these wild hunters of Kernus, and also just dropping some enemy infantry as well, using that vortex damage to really just burn down these wild hunters and deepwood scouts as they suffer more and more AoE damage from the explosions and vortex. Now, Durso is going 1v1 against Garbrandt and taking a chunk out of the Khorne Lord, but he's also subjected to a bunch of throwing axes, fire throwing axes in his face. So Durso is getting low as well, and on top of that, funny enough, Khorne is the one obtaining that mobility advantage here, as the Wild Riders, they are elite, but they are scarce in numbers, so they actually do not have enough numbers to keep dominating on the battlefield right now. And the Flesh Hounds plus the Warhounds and the Horsemen are able to just clean up those routed and separated Wood Elf units. You can see some Swift Shifter Shards are kind of isolated, and then the Murder Horses and Warhounds are just piling onto them, trying to shut them down. Durflu still fights among his own troops, providing that Ancient Guardian aura. Can I get it? Yeah, to nullify magical weapons in case there are any magic attacks around the vicinity. Which is why Scarbrand is also less effective against Durflu, because his magic attacks would not be effective. Murders of Khorne here, unfortunately being targeted by a bit of a Curse of Onrider and Sword of Dave, so their melee stats are neutered, and they're also suffering from some solid direct damage as well. But right now, Khorne is going to be kiting the Wood Elves, which is quite ironic when you consider everything, as the Skull Cannons just keeps firing into those Wood Elf infantry blob, burning them down. Swift Shifter Shards are firing in, but the 110 armor is holding on pretty nicely for the Skull Cannon. The physical resistance doesn't matter in this case, because yeah, Swift Shiver Shards does magic damage, but the Skull Cannon just charges in, plows through some of those Deepwood Scouts, and maybe do some minor damage to the Wild Hunters of Kernus and pull out of the fight. And while the Marauders of Khorne just keeps distracting those Wild Wood Rangers. Balance of Heart is in favor of the Wood Elves though, because they have been fighting in the trees, and they are woodsmen after all, so none of these Wood Elf forces gets penalties when fighting within those vegetation, but the Khorne army does. Quite unfortunate their Skull Cannons not actually landing that many shots here, there. After Skull Cannon's accuracy is still questionable, and oh no, this capture point is not in the hands of anyone. So Khorne, despite seemingly having that advantage in capture point, actually doesn't get any victory tickets until just now. Now the tickets are coming in, but how long can Khorne hold on? Like, that was a good 5 minutes of missed victory tickets, and that translates into 300 tickets. If Khorne could have gotten those tickets, they would be in a much more comfortable position. But right now, things are looking quite dicey, as Scarbrand is running low in HP, and Rage Embodied is not going to help him right now. Yeah. Is this a sort of day for Curse of Onrider? It's a Curse of Onrider, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, the Swift Shifter Shards are doing so much damage to the Murder Horses, and the Murder Horses are very, very key in taking down Durthu in the late game. So the Khorne army really needs to do whatever they can to keep those throwing axes alive. But oh no, now Scarbrand is subjected to those Swift Shiver Shard double shots, and they are just such a good damage dealer unit, alright, earning back their worth already, and still peppering down whatever units they can get their hands on. And another shot miss from the Skull Cannon. Skull Cannon needs to really just jump in and tie down the Swift Shiver Shards in melee. Scarbrand is just doesn't really dare to get close to this formation, because he knows if he get close, he will just get peppered down by those shots. Although the Skull Cannons are keeping the Deepwood Scouts pressured, so even Scarbrand is now trying to risk it for the biscuit and try to pressure those Deepwood Scouts. And yeah, the Skull Cannons are now disrupting the Deepwood Scouts here, but the balance of power is more and more in the favor of the Wood Elf army here. Scarbrand is fading away, and without him, there is no chance for the Wood Elves, for the Khorne army to pull it back, and that shall be victory to the Wood Elves in the first game here in this best of 3. Alright, let me just save the replay. Yeah, very nicely played by Oishikunare Kitang here. Solid performance from the Wildwood Rangers. For once, they are actually useful. God damn it. And a great performance from the low X Trickster as well. But really, the carry of the game is not really Durflu, but the Deep Wood Scouts just peppering down whatever units available on the Khorne army side, just shutting down the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, preventing them from doing more damage to Durflu. And shooting up the enemy mobility as well, and of course Scarborough peppering down his health. The double shot magic missiles is just so good. Such a great damage dealer, such a great DPS unit. And the mobility not doing too hot here, but most of the damage was done by the one of the Wildwood Rangers earning their worth and killed a lot of enemy units. The Guardian of the Wildwood is definitely a very it's definitely a decent ability. I wouldn't say it's very, very good, but definitely more better than before. And Swift Shift Shards earning back their worth. And yeah, Azrael Spears also getting some really good trades. Well, the Skull Cannons getting some solid damage value, but unfortunately the rest of the army wasn't quite able to earn back their own worth. Just outclassed by the Wood Elves in melee, especially when Durflu is just punching them down, and Scarborough getting targeted heavily by enemy anti-large and also missiles. So GG's both players, and then we'll be moving on to the next game, where players will have to use different lords. The Wood Elves can no longer use... Yeah, the Wood Elves can no longer use Durflu, and Scarborough, who is playing as Khorne, can no longer use Scarborough, which is quite ironic. Instead, he will have to use some other lord. Perhaps we can see a Chaos Lord of Khorne here, which is gonna be pretty decent if he's on like a mount. So like he will have like a decent mobility option. Doesn't have any access to healing, but at least it's a relatively cheap lord and is a bit of a mobility. But yeah, we shall see what happens in the next battle. Yeah. We shall see here. We have the army blocker up, and let us just pull up the scoreboard, perhaps. Yeah. And then on the left we have Bran with 1 point, 0 point actually. And then on the right we have let's just Kitang. I don't have that long of a scoreboard for the whole freaking name. Yes, Lord is also just a slow target to be cut. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that is true. He does. Oh, yeah, the Chaos Lord doesn't have shield. Okay, I take back what I said. The Chaos Lord is not a great Lord. Yeah. This is an awful map for the Skull Cannons. I had the displeasure of playing the Chaos Lord versus Wood Elf matchup in this map today on Quick Battle. Yeah, there's too much vegetation, unfortunately, and that blocked a lot of shots for the Skull Cannon. But then again, Skull Cannons doesn't have the best like line of sight either. It doesn't have the best accuracy, so they miss quite a bit. Brain Wolf Raiders lose head on against all Wood Elf Calves. Not worth taking in my opinion. Chaos Dwarfs just have awful tools against AP Kite. That is true. They can't really fight back well against, especially when the AP Kite has stalk and snipe. So you can't even see what's shooting at you, what's kiting you. She just kind of shut the bed towards the end. Too many characters didn't get a meaningful arc, and battles devolved into 3-page essays about speculating how an ability works. Oh, that's not great. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna read Jujutsu Kaisen then. Yeah, not that I plan to begin with, anyways. If he takes Chaos Lord, he takes it on horse or chariot. Yeah, that's the point, right? Just get a horse-mounted character and keep that pressure onto enemy units. But yeah, we have a much more open map this time. Perhaps we will see the Skull Cannons do a bit more work, because we do have, once again, double Skull Cannon built from the Khorne army. Double Skull Cannons, a line of Marauders, and a ton of throwing axes once again. But this time we do have the Chaos Chariots of Khorne and Furies in Disguise. No Hounds though, just yeah, just a ton of infantry and mobility. Now for the... Oh, and also, yep, you're right, Bahrain. He did... Over here, Scarborough did bring Valkia the Bloody here. He is accompanied by Karen Nack, so we are expecting some anti-spellcasting power. On the other side of the battlefield, ooh, it seems that the Karanak is not gonna be having a good time, because he's just gonna get shot and he will never catch up to these flying eagle targets. Anyways, army builds. Rest of the army builds for the Wood Elves here on this side. Once again, going all in on the Vanguard. Not all in, but pretty much all in. Wait, what? Okay. They're deciding not to go Vanguard then. Okay. Blade Riders in the front, and then Wild Hunters of Kernos plus Wild Riders, and a line of Dryads plus 1 single Wildwood Rangers, 1 Low X Tricksters once again, and yeah. This time going less elite in terms of the melee infantry department, but definitely still bringing some solid core there, and a lot of mobility units ready to do some kiting against the Khorne army. We shall see what happens here as the first volleys of the Glade Riders are firing in and not doing a whole lot to the Skull Cannon, and instead they took a shot in the face from the Skull Cannon fire. Now the Marauders are pushing up and trying to screen back those Glade Riders. Glade Riders actually are a great counter against throwing axes because they have longer range. They can shoot the Murder Horseman, who doesn't have any missile block chance, unlike a regular throwing axe missile infantry. Yeah, they can just pepper down the Murder Horseman with throwing axes, while at the same time, oh, Valkia is going straight after Sisters of Twilight, trying to duel her in the skies. Prayer of the Blood God from Karanak is active just to pin down the Sisters, but you do have to be careful though. Even if they snipe out the Sisters of Twilight, wait. Oh no, they did not bring Conjoined Destiny. So if Sisters of Twilight is sniped out over here, she is not coming back. Oh boy. Throwing axes combined as well, providing some solid single entity firepower. And now the Sisters of Twilight is on the run. Valkia is just constantly chasing them. Oh, nice charge from the Chaos Chariots as well. The Khorne Chariots flying through the Wildwood Rangers. And on the far side, somehow the Glade Gods are losing on this skirmishing fight, as the throwing axes are getting in range. Oh, that's why the Skull Cannons are firing in. Missing shots though. So not the most effective, and on top of that, the Marauder Horsemen might get caught by the Wild Riders. Oh no, it seems that the Furies are coming in to intercept them, and more Skull Cannon shots missing. Just keeps missing, yes, as expected with the Skull Cannon, really. Wild Hunters of Kernos really charging into some Marauders, trying to break their backs fast enough so that the Marauders, second unit of Marauders with these ones with dual weapons, can't really reinforce fast enough. Valkia and the Furies here, plus Karanak, everything piling onto these Wild Riders, just trying to finish off this unit. And the Sisters of Twilight are very wisely staying the hell away from Valkia. They do not want to get risk getting caught in melee once again, because if they are gone, they are gone. There's no healing for them. There's not even any healing with spell casting either, because this is a spellcaster of Beast, not Life. Now the Sisters of Twilight just keep shooting, and the Chaos Chariots got stuck in melee for too long, and all these anti-large, anti-arm actually, and some anti-large as well, is doing some pretty noticeable damage against them. Valkia might want to drop the Spear Slopney soon. Yeah, she hasn't used it, and not even once. Over here, Murder Horsemen trying to catch up to the Wild Riders, trying to save their brethren, but it's probably going to be more like finishing off the Wild Riders when they are there. Nice Spear Slopnir deleting these blobbed up Low X Tricksters and Dryads, and oh no, not the Wildwood Rangers, I guess, but yeah. Either ways, Karanak is trying to catch up to Valkia and get close enough to drop the Prey of the Blood God, I believe, so that Valkia can catch up. But yeah, the Chaos Chariots of Khorne will be finished off, and throwing axes are still pressuring those Glade Riders, so though they still have a tough time catching up. And over here, the Marauder Horses with throwing axes manage to catch the Wild Riders, who are on the verge of routing, receiving a charge. They are taking quite a bit of damage. The Marauder front line are mostly broken off by the superior Dryads and Wild Rangers, and the Skull Cannons have almost ran out of ammo. Now the Spell Singer of Beast very bravely trying to finish off the Skull Cannon, but Valkia is back in time. Now she might just get pinned down by Karanak, and Valkia just got stuck on the ground now. Oh, a mighty bite coming in from Karanak, taking a chunk off the Spell Singer of Beast, and she is routed right now. Another big hit onto the Spellcaster, and she is routed. Is there another Prayer of the Blood God coming in? Maybe, maybe not. We shall see, as the Sisters of Twilight is now just shooting at the Skull Cannon alongside some Glade Rider. Valkia committing to chase off the Spell Singer of Beast, making sure that she does not come back. Oh wait, nope. It seems like Valkia is returning. Is there a Prayer of the Blood God? It should be. If there is one, it should be coming in soon. Anyways, the Karanak is just staying right under. Oh yeah, it's the Prey of the Blood God just in time, pinning down Sisters of Twilight, and now Valkia is coming in for the kill. There are no there are no Marauders with. Oh wait, why did the Sisters of Twilight land? Okay, to be fair, there are a lot of surrounding infantry here, but even then, the Glade Riders were intercepted by Karanak, and that was a very nice play there. Slowing down the Glade Riders, they were not able to reinforce their lord in time, and Valkia was able to put in a deadly hit onto Sisters of Twilight, dropping her down to a low health, and then another shot from the Skull Cannon. Sisters of Twilight is down to 24 HP. I'm sure Kitan is very sad that he did not bring the Conjoined Destiny, because this would be really key in bringing back the sisters right now. But right now the sister will be pushed off. I don't know if she can still regroup at this point, but it seems like the Skull Cannon and Valkyrie are more focused on finishing off the Wild Hunters of Kurnus instead. Ooh, an Ember Spear onto Skull Cannon, but that probably did more hurt to the Spellslinger than hurting the Khorne army, dropping the balance of power of the Wood Elves even more. And now another use of the Spear Slopnir blasting away the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. Seems like Scarbrand really hate these elite cavalry, and just making sure they're finished off. Oh, looks like the Sisters of Twilight have returned, but can they bring this back? We shall see here. They still have quite a bit of ammo, but they're teetering on the verge of breaking. And the only reason they're not routing is just because their flanks are secured. Yeah. Skull Cannon are now just rampaging through the tattered infantry of the Wood Elves, and this Skull Cannon might be low in health, but they can always get more health back with the Skull Feast ability. And Valkia is still very much healthy as well. Another shot from the Skull Cannon missing, getting hit by the Ember Spear, but that did almost nothing. Karanak is still very healthy, and same goes with Valkia. Yeah, it is pretty much the single entities carrying the game for the Khorne army, for Scarbrand's Khorne army. But we shall see what happens here, as Sisters of Twilight really need to stay the hell away from everything. Like one single. Oh, actually, the Prey of the Blood God probably should be popped on this Spellslinger of Beast, just for Valkia to catch him and kill her or something. But yeah, more shots from the Skull Cannon, blasting away these Glade Riders, whittling their health down. The capture point is in the hands of Wood Elves, so the Wood Elves are getting victory tickets, not the Khorne army. Though one of the Skull Cannons actually fading away, they need to get into melee fast, but I don't think they can get in there fast enough there. Yeah, probably, yep, there goes one of the Skull Cannon, but the other is still above half health, and Karanak and Valkia all still very much healthy. And the balance of power is more and more in favor of the Khorne army here. So yeah, that's probably gonna be GG for Wood Elves, unless they can drag this on long enough. Oh no, yeah, the sisters are shattered actually. That was tragic, and then the Beastcaster shattered. Army losses just came in for the Wood Elves at the end. A little bit anticlimactic, but yeah, it seems that the spirits of the Wood Elves can only go so far, and can't really help them bring back this fight. Yeah, that was a very devastating loss in the early game there. The sisters getting caught out early by Valkia and just being forced on the run ever since then. And they try to bring back the game with a very aggressive play to push back the murder-throwing axes, but the main thing is they don't really have the options to kill off the single entities outside of the Wild Hunters of Kurnus there. But then the Wild Hunters of Kurnus are also like heavily targeted by the enemy units, and the infantry didn't trade well into the Marauder infantry, as they are specifically anti-light armored units. So the low X Tricksters and the Wildwood Rangers didn't exactly have a great time trading in those engagements. And yeah, that is it for this one battle. Valkia did some really good damage overall, and just dealing with the single entities, just helping out in fights wherever she can, and also dropping a very nice Spear of Slopnir, deleting the low X Trickster. And the rest of the army did okay. The Chariots being shot by Sisters of Twilight, but still managing to earn back, almost are earning back their worth. They cost like 800 something, if I remember correctly, so that is close enough, I suppose. But yeah, Skull Cannon carried the game, and the throwing axes did meh, but yeah, it's pretty much Karanak, Valkyria, and the double skull cannon carrying this game. GG. Ray of the Blood God damage itself is enough to kill either characters now, I think. Yeah, pretty much. Game 3 looking rough for Khorne. They ran out of good lords. What else can still go Glady or Spellweaver? No, they went for Glady earlier, no? No, Glady was in the Killsdorf game. Yeah, they haven't used Glady yet. So Glady is still on the table. Yeah, this does indeed look rough for Khorne. Scarbrand is no longer available, so there's no more AoE control against the enemy target. I don't think the Demon Prince or the Bloodthirster would be good here, because they are too much of a big target for the Wood Elf skirmishing. And I don't know. Let me just switch Scarbrand's scoreboard, and yeah, we got it. And I guess personally, I would probably either go Herald of Khorne or Chaos Lord of Khorne on horseback or on a Juggernaut, just so I have a small-sized lord that can provide some melee help, and also just leading the army. Not much else I can really do here. But otherwise, Wood Elves. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. Oh. I think the strongest pick here is Chaos Lord on horse and Karanak. I would agree. Maybe I would bring him on Juggernaut, but yeah, I generally agree with that sentiment. But yeah, let's see what happens here. Scarbrand going for a Bloodthirster Lord. That is interesting. Exalted Bloodthirster with a Karanak support. And still we're seeing double skull cannon. So this is quite an interesting pick. But looking at the opposite side, 2 Way Watchers, 1 Deepwood Scouts, perhaps even have Sorcerer Shards. And on top of that, a Glady with Prey of Anathema. Yeah, I think the death sentence of the Bloodthirster is coming in soon. Yeah. Horse has better chance of dodging this, also you don't really need AP here unless they take Ancient Treatment. That is the thing, oh wait, yeah, the Deathful is out of play, so I wouldn't, yeah, so there's no point bringing AP. But yeah, as we can see here, Prey of Anathema is on the field, plus 3 strong skirmishing units. These are regular Deepwood Scouts, so no magic double shots, but yeah, this looks a bit rough for Khorne, as the Exalted Bloodthirster most likely is just gonna get pinned down by the net and shot up by the Way Watchers and Deepwood Scouts. So it's rough, but we shall see what happens here. Yeah, and also I should download all the replays for the replay casting section. We do have quite a few today. We have quite a few players joining, so yeah. Okay. I think we got 6 replays. Yeah, 6 replays in the background. And then we have this one to go as well. So yeah, quite a bit more action coming in. Wait, what the I was just accidentally staring at my YouTube feed, and it seems that Alpharius or Omegon is returning to Warhammer 40k. That is an interesting thing to play out. But who is Alpharius? Which one of the Alpha Legion legionnaire is Alpharius? Anyways, that is okay. We're done with distractions now. The Marauders, the Khorne army is pretty much the same double skull cannon line of Marauders, Bloodthirster, Karanak, and yeah, a bunch of Marauder throwing axes, Chariot, and Hounds of the Blood Hunt on the Wood Elf side, going quite heavy in the missiles here. Oh, wait, Prey of Anathema already pinning down the Chaos Chariots instead of a Bloodthirster, and the Way Watchers, 2 Way Watchers, 1 Deepwood Scouts line of Wildwood Rangers and Dryad. Wild Riders are charging in, but they're taking quite a bit of damage in return. Is there a breath attack nearby? No. They just took a bunch of damage in the melee fight and throwing axes. And now, Prey of the Blood God pinning down on the Glade Lord. And Karanak and the Bloodthirster are both in and just smacking on this Glade Lady. A heal is coming in though, but there is flaming attacks from the Khorne Bloodthirster, halving that regrowth heal. and that means it will be much less effective in keeping the Glade Lord alive. The Prey of the Blood God and the Bloodthirster combined, absolutely deleting the Glade Lord. There is no more. Is she going down? No, it seems that the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss are desperately trying to save their Glady, but they themselves have been taking quite a bit of damage in that engagement as they are just getting punched by the enemy Marauder infantry, and the Glady has been pushed back. If something can be dedicated to chase them down, that might just be it for the Wood Elves. Very aggressive play from Skybrand here, and I like it a lot. And yeah, Murderers with throwing axes are just charging into melee combat, trying to pressure those Weight Watchers. Hounds of the Blood Hunt are also joining the fight. Wild Hunters of Kurnoss are making mincemeat out of the Murder Horsemen, and the Double Skull Cannon are just sitting back and firing in, just chipping away the enemy health. Biding their time, while the Bloodthirster really just dedicating himself into chasing down that Glade Lady, making sure she doesn't come back for any more sneaky prey of Anaphrema. The rest of the Khorne army are just duking it out. They're taking casualties, but it seems that they're really just dedicating themselves into whittling down the rest of the Wood Elf army as much as possible before their lord returns. The Glade Lord has been pushed all the way to the edge of the battlefield and is off the map officially. So no more Prey of Anaphrema, no more control abilities for the Wood Elves. This might be a bit rough, but they still have a bunch of Weight Watchers, and the Wood Elf leadership means that they are still fighting even if they lost their Lord. Especially this is just a temporary leadership debuff, right? It's a routed Lord, not a dead Lord. But yeah, looks like the Hounds of the Blood Hunt has been eliminated, and the Wild Riders are now receiving some really nice regrowth healing, just keeping themselves alive. And Karanak is getting pinned down quite a bit by those Wild Hunters of Kurnoss. The Eternal Gods and the Weight Watchers are circling around, trying to just stay the hell alive. But yeah, it's getting quite rough for... Actually, it's getting quite rough for the Khorne army here, actually. Even after routing the Glade Lord, there's still quite a bit of staying power for the Wood Elves to fight on, especially now that Karanak is being trapped, unable... Yeah, he needs to drop a... Maybe... Something needs to be done to save Karanak, as he still have his... Oh, he still have his... No, he still have his Fleshhound Summon. He has not used his Fleshhound Summon. He needs to at least drop that before going down. He's fading away rapidly, and... Oh no, this is a missed opportunity. Yeah, that is GG. That is GG for Karanak. Good night, good boy. The best boy of Khorne. So that was quite a painful loss. Still having two users of Prey of the Blood God and the Fleshhound Summon left, but maybe perhaps the Double Skull Cannon can pull out a win for Khorne. We shall see here, as the throwing axes are taking more and more casualties in this kind of melee fight, but the Skull Cannon are just fighting and healing, and the Weight Watchers have been mostly dealt with. Yeah, one Weight Watcher routed. The second also routed. Only the Deepwood Scouts remain, and there are still quite a bit of mobility presence remain for those Khorne army here. The double single entities and these still fighting Murder Horsemen, getting that Horn of Khorne buff to just beat down those Wild Riders in a straight up melee fight. But there's still a lot of infantry left, and oh, looks like here comes an ability, Deathbringer, to buff the melee stats of... buff the weapon damage of this Exalted Bloodthirster. Regrowth onto the Weight Watchers. This is how you know it's very desperate for the Wood Elves here. Just trying to heal up even the meager Weight Watchers. Not the Wild Riders, but the Weight Watchers, just trying to keep them in the fight, because that's the best bet for the Wood Elves to finish off the Exalted Bloodthirster. But the Double Skull Cannon just continues to fight and heal, keeping those Weight Watchers on the run, and also applying that fire attack with the Skull Cannon. They're halving that healing, halving that regrowth healing, and yeah, things are looking still quite even in terms of balance of power. The remaining Marauders are consolidating around that capture point, trying to secure that. Wait, how is it? Wait, how is it filled up by red? That makes... Nope. Okay. I think it's just a visual bug. Anyways, that doesn't matter here. Marauders of Khorne have secured the capture point, and the rest of the Weight Watchers are being focused down by the enemy mobility here. There are some throwing axes. Marauders who are returning, but I think the main focus right now is just to keep the capture point in the hands of Khorne, and with the triple single entities here. the Khorne army is actually still in a quite comfortable position just to keep cycle charging. The Way Watcher is one of the final. One more Way Watcher gone. It's only the Deepwood Scouts remaining. Nope, there's still a regrouped Way Watcher over there. So the Skull Cannons will have to do some dodging and weaving just to get in range and juke some shots. Get in range and start pressuring those Way Watchers. The Deepwood Scouts probably can stand as probably worth standing the Bloodthirster over to finish them off, maybe? Nope, it seems like both of the Skull Cannons are gonna head on over to do the job. But yeah, one final volley of throwing axes, but that doesn't matter against the shattered Deepwood Scouts. Now there are only some tattered Way Watchers remaining, and the Skull Cannon, the buffed Skull Cannons, are coming in. Will the single entities emerge victorious, or will the Wood Elves hold? We shall see here. There are still some quite healthy Wildwood Riders. Wildwood Rangers are still in there, and Wild Riders are also there ready to just pin down the enemy mobility. But yeah, Marauders are coming back. Bloodthirster are trying to get a charge onto the Wild Riders and eliminate this remaining Wood Elf mobility. Getting some pretty good hits in with that Exalted Bloodthirster there. Though one of the Skull Cannons probably should just go around and deal with the Way Watchers as well. Marauder infantry are going to be shattered, so no more infantry presence for the Khorne army, and Khorne is free to just keep kiting actually, if the Skull Cannon has ammo. Not that they have much ammo either ways, but yeah. The Bloodthirster really focusing down, really keeping his eyes onto the Wild Riders, while the Skull Cannon will be pressuring the Way Watchers, making sure that they can't just sit there safely and fire. The Wild Riders are almost dead, and the Skull Cannon took a bit of damage in the melee fight against the Eternal Gods here. But yeah, the Bloodthirster once again charging into the rear of the Wild Riders, though he's taking some shots from the Way Watchers, which is not great for him, but oh well. At least the Wild Riders are dealt with, so no more mobility to limit, no more mass and speed for the Wood Elves to counteract their single entities here. And the Exalted Bloodthirster will be going after the Way Watchers, who are only down to the last 22 models, but still packing quite a punch and also getting quite a bit of value over time already. But the double single entity heal here is coming in quite clutch for the Khorne army. Just keeping that balance of power high and keeping those Skull Cannons in the fight, as the Wood Elves struggles to pin them down in melee combat with only the mobility, with only the infantry left. Okay, the Wild Riders came back, so that might be quite huge. Can the Skull Cannon land a shot? Nope. I think what? It get cock blocked or something? Come on, get a shot out and smack down the middle against these Wood Elf forces. The Exalted Bloodthirster also diving in, but oh, one of the Skull Cannon actually fading away. Can it resecure its leadership, or is it gonna just keep fading away? It is taking damage. It is taking. Oh, it seems that the Skull Cannon managed to secure its leadership, though the Wood Elf infantry are still trying to fight on. Wait, where's the? Oh, the Spell Singer is already dead or routed. Okay, that's probably it for the Wood Elves, as the second Skull Cannon also charges in and just runs through those Eternal Gods. Wait, Deepwood Scouts, Way Watchers are actually back. They're actually back again, and just keep peppering those shots down the line and trying to whittle down those Khorne single entities here. But at this point, it is quite a desperate scenario here. This Skull Cannon just keep teetering on the edge of breaking a demonic instability and not a demonic instability. So yeah, it's quite funny, but on the other side, Way Watchers will be this time definitely pressured off by the Skull Cannons here, making sure they do not come back. And this Skull Cannon keeps fighting alongside the Bloodthirster, making sure he has enough leadership to stay in the fight, using that Lord leadership buff to him. And yeah, he is winning current battle combat Lord nearby, unit rank 2, and flank secure. No flank secure, but either ways, that was enough to keep him in the fight, keeping his leadership ahead of keeping him with more than enough leadership to stay in the fight. Now the Skull Cannon is turning around to shoot, while the other Skull Cannon will be picking apart the Eternal Gods. Looks like Brain, Corn got this. Yeah, looks like indeed Corn does have this in the bag now. Now that the double skull cannon are still in fighting condition. Wait, did I just miss a did I just miss a sword of Corn? Damn it! But yeah, there's the sword of Corn onto some tattered Eternal God, which doesn't really matter at this point. And the Way Watcher is the last hope of the Wood Elves here. Just putting in a few more pot shots onto the Way Watchers. Putting a few more pot shots onto the Exalted Bloodthirster, but they will be shattered as well, and there shall be army losses. GG to both players here, and that shall be the end for today's live battle casting. We'll be moving on soon to the replay section, but before that, let's just sum up this battle with a post-battle screen, and also just congratulations to Scarbrand for winning this Wednesday Faction War battle here. Really impressive performance, especially in the last game. I thought the Exalted Bloodthirster will be a death sentence to the Khorne army, being pinned down by the net of Ammontok and Prey of Anathema and get shot by a bunch of Way Watchers. But it seems that Khitan might have misprioritized the target, using the Prey of Anathema to pin down the chariots instead of the Bloodthirster, and that allowed the Karanak to just comes in with the Prey of the Blood God and lock down the Glade Lady, and then the Bloodthirster comes in with Deathbringer active, additional weapon strength, absolutely smashing that Glady in melee combat, slaughtering her, and she never came back to cast another net ever again. And as a result, solid value from the Bloodthirster, but really carrying the game are these two Skull Cannons. They are just so good against infantry these days with the newly added Vortex, and they have more weapon damage in melee as well, so that makes them more lethal against the enemy infantry blobs. Constantly psycho-charging. Constantly psycho-charging till the end. Constantly psycho-charging till the end. The Wood Elf infantry failed to pin them down, so the Skull Cannons were able to just charge in, push through, regain some ammo, and then psycho charge again into melee once they use up their ammo. I mean, the Chaos Chariots got shredded by the enemy missiles, but that was worth it. And Throwing Axes did okay, nothing too amazing there, but they did manage to pressure off some of the Wild Riders. Marauder Infantry did okay, but they're pretty much there to die, and not really there to win anyways. Karanak, unfortunately, a bit of a mistake there, just not able to use up the two more uses of the Prey of the Blood God or the Fleshhound Summon there, but in the end, the Exalted Bloodthirster and the double Skull Cannon still managed to win the game for the Khorne army. I would say I would love to see Karanak to use all of his abilities, and that probably would be an even more assuring Khorne victory. But either ways, that is still a very nicely played game from both sides. So congratulations to both players here. Congratulations to both Scarbrand and Oishi Kanade, Khitan Pura Mirakuru for the game. Very, very fun best of 3 for sure, and congratulations to Scarbrand the Exiled for the win. GG everyone, and I hope you all enjoyed this tournament battle, and if you played in the tournament or just watch, I hope you enjoyed the tournament action. Do stay around though, because I'm gonna take a quick water break. Oh wait, we still have to go through the army performances on the Wood Elves here. The Way Watcher is getting some solid value, same goes for the Wild Riders and Wild Hunters of Kurnos, but unfortunately a lot of that damage value is inflated by the sheer amount of healing available to the Skull Cannon. Yeah, the Skull Cannon, 2,700 gold worth of damage value. They're actually meta now. They're actually a meta pick now, maybe. Like, damn. They're strong. They're strong. Other than that, yeah, pretty average performances for the rest of the Wood Elf army. And yeah, that's it for today's third game in the finals there. Very well played to Scarbrand. Blood for the Blood God indeed. Proving that Khorne is really the choice of faction you want to really slaughter everyone else, really. Right, Gladion Stag instead of Hulk also felt like a mistake. Not necessarily. Gladion Hulk is just additional investment, and also in the previous battle we already seen how a Hulk character mounted on a Hulk can be caught by a Prey of the Blood God, and get slaughtered in melee by a corn flying character. So yeah, not necessarily going for a great stack Glady isn't necessarily a bad call, especially she can double as a melee combatant to charge into an armored target pinned down by Prayer of Anarvrema. Skybrand most likely won't see me on the next faction war because Corn is now banned. Well, just play another melee focused faction. Like the closest faction to Corn maybe is a green skin. Actually no, it's wait, Norskin, yeah, they're similar. Yeah, I wish my faction got magma cannons that work. I mean, the reason why skull cannons work isn't because of the projectiles. They still miss a lot. Like, similar to magma cannons, I think magma cannons does similar damage if they actually land a shot. The thing is, magma cannons doesn't have the speed and melee power of a skull cannon, and definitely not the kind of regeneration of a skull cannon. So, which is why magma cannon can't really perform the same as a skull cannon. Yeah. Skull cannon getting 2.7k value is crazy. Absolutely, I might consider casting it. Because, damn, that's skull cannon. That's skull cannon doing extra absolute work. Brain give them extra wheels and extra blood. Yeah, that's probably what you need. Extra wheel for speed and extra blood for fuel. But yeah. Either ways, we have a ton of replays to cast. Not a ton, but like 6. So like, yeah, quite a few. So I'm just gonna push the replays over. Give me a second. Wait, actually it's just 5 actually. 5 replays. Wait, no, I think is yeah, 5 replays. So this one is Warriors of Chaos Hayseed, a very good player as well, versus Wood Elves. 2 mighty single entity combatants. Oh god, Kolag versus Durthu, the battle of ages for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter who wins in this one. This is gonna be glorious, indeed. I think the damage is pretty much identical, but skull cannons cost just 50 gold. More can kite and doesn't die to dogs in melee. And on top of that, they heal. Skull cannon heal, so it doubles as like a tank, absorbing enemy damage, just absorbing a lot of punishing, and still able to survive. So yeah, it's quite a rough one. Anyways, army built here for the Warriors of Chaos of Hayseed. Front line of Marauders, second line of Marauders with great dual weapons, and Forsaken on the flanks. Some Knights of the Brazen Throne, Marauder Horsemen of Khorne, Sword of Chaos. So some elite heavy cavalry. As for Kitang's Wood Elf army, a front line of Wildwood Rangers, just Vanguard deployed. Oh man, I'm loving the approach of Kitang's Wood Elf army, just going all in on those Vanguard deployment. I feel like even the Glade Guard should be Vanguard deployed, because yeah, they no, they don't have Vanguard deployed. Okay, never mind. I forget I said that. And yeah, Enigmas of Garen for their regrowth. They do have regrowth, 1 use, but it is a regrowth nonetheless. And Flash to Stone for that physical resistance, and Eternal Gods, 1 unit of them. And leading the army, Durthu, Vanguard deployed alongside some Wild Hunters of Kurnos. That's it for the army builds. Now let's get the battle started. I do love that all-in melee approach of Kitang's army here. Wild Hunters of Kurnos catching those Unbraced Marauders and absolutely plowing them, taking no damage in return. And then the Wildwood Rangers flood in. The only damage that Wild Hunters of Kurnos took are from the friendly fire of the Glade Gods with Starfire Shafts. Quite ironic indeed. But either ways, the Wildwood Rangers are engaging. Oh shit! Right, I forgot to point out, the Wildwood Rangers, because their ability activates when a terror causing unit is in range, you can bring your own terror causing unit, like Durthu, and then they will still activate their ability. So they're getting that 10 melee attack buff and 25% more weapon strength as well. Just cutting through those enemy infantry. One of the Marauders are already dead, and yeah, the Knights of the Brazen Throne engaging against the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Their armor-piercing weapon strength are mostly mitigated, partially mitigated by the physical resistance of the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, but most importantly, they're being pinned down in melee. And the Flesh to Stone adding more physical resistance to the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, now up to 80% physical resistance. These Wild Hunters of Kurnos are tanking, and on top of that, receiving that regrowth spell. The bounce spell of the Enigmas of Garen, just keeping them in the fight. while the Knights of the Brazen Throne does not have that kind of tankiness, does not have that kind of physical resistance and healing, so they're taking a bunch of losses in the fight. On top of that, is there any spells abilities? I don't see anything here, so let's assume there's nothing. Oh, but here comes a spell, a Burning Head, straight down the line of these Wildwood Rangers, and these Wildwood Rangers are probably gonna get hit as well. On the other side, though, the Wildwood Rangers over here, because Collect is in sight, these Wildwood Rangers are getting the Wild Guardians of the Wildwood ability active as well, so they're able to just beat down the Marauders. These ones do not have that, but they're still having a better melee stats overall. So, but Sword of Chaos charging into their rear, starting to do some good damage, while over here, Wild Hunters of Kurnos absolutely getting burnt down. Regrove is still healing them up, and the Wildwood Rangers are also taking a bunch of damage. Oh no, the Wild Hunters of Kurnos has been pushed back, but perhaps the Glade Gods can fire at the pursuing Marauder Horsemen and screen them off. Looks like the Marauder Horsemen are being pushed back as the Enigmas of Gyron are absolutely pummeling those Knights of the Brazen Throne, driving back this elite cavalry. At the same time, Durthu is fighting. Oh, he has been caught by Kolak Sun Eater here. Kolak does not have any magic attacks right now, regardless of his abilities and items and whatnot, because Durthu's Ancient Guardian does nullify enemy magic attacks. So, yeah, negates magic weapons within the area. So the physical resistance of Durthu is in play right now. And also Enigmas of Enigmas of Gyron can probably drop another physical resistance buff with the Flesh to Stone, but even if they don't have anything, that's fine. Cascading Fire Cloak onto the Swords of Chaos, but that's not saving them at all. All that armor-piercing melee units are absolutely wrecking those elite Chaos Cavalry. And Kolak is absolutely surrounded by so many AP units. Even the Enigmas of Gyron, the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, and on top of that, Starfire Shafts peppering him with those AP fire. Yeah, he is not enjoying that fight. He has been shattered straight up in this fight. There's unfortunately no healing on the Warriors of Chaos side to keep Kolak in the fight, and there goes the Chaos Lord. The Marauders are now pressuring the Glade Gods with Starfire Shafts, but I don't think that matters too much right now. There's no healing available on the Wood Elf side, but they do have that domination in terms of balance of power. Glade Gods are being pressured, but Flock of Doom is here to save the day here, slowly draining down the Marauders, while Papa Durthu is just beating down whatever nearby Marauder infantry available, and Army losses hit, and that shall be victory to the Wood Elves. I think, Skull Cannon equals Chariot plus Artillery plus Passive Heal SE. On top of that, that is a pretty damn good anti-everything artillery. Anti-non-single entity artillery, yeah. The Skull Cannon's artillery damage comes from the Explosion and the Vortex, so it's not great against single entities, but it's still very good against multi-entity units like Monstrous Infantry or Cavalry and Infantry. Yeah. Kolak unfortunately got surrounded by too many solid melee power. Even the Wood Rangers did okay, actually. They actually get... Yeah, the buff seems to have done them a lot of good here, especially when you're expecting to fight against terror-causing armies. So they have secured quite a bit of damage value while still being relatively healthy. And the Glade Gods getting some solid value, peppering down Kolak and the Knights of the Brazen Throne, who do not have any miss-up block chance due to their lack of shields, just in favor of their dual weapons, sacrificing their miss-up block chance for more damage output and whatnot. And because the Knights of the Brazen Throne charge into enemy cavalry, they currently utilize their additional mass and speed in the charge. Their most lethal use is to just charge them into enemy infantry, and because they have additional charge speed and charging mass, because of their unique ability, they absolutely can plow through infantry formations and doing maximum collision damage. But unfortunately, they were fighting against Wild Hunters of Kurnos, so that was not actually in play in this battle here. Throwing Asses did some good damage, but alas, that was not enough to pull this game back. The infantry tried their best to push through enemy infantry, but the fact that Kolak lost and took a bunch of, and also the elite cavalry lost to the Wood Elves in melee, means that there's nothing else to carry the game, and the infantry alone can definitely not do that. Definitely cannot do that. I mean, well, the Wood Elves here, solid. Yeah, we've talked about the Wood Elves. Even the Wild Hunters of Kronos, despite taking so much shock damage earlier because of the physical resistance of Flesh to Stone, stabilizing their HP losses and then the regrowth as well, just keeping them in the fight, they were able to dish out a bit more pain and just drag down those Knights of the Brazen Throne. Really nice combo with the Enigmas of Jiren. I love to see a great Zolt play here. And now it is Killstall versus Nurgle. A very fast battle, I think. Literally 10 minutes after the tournament started, this replay was sent onto the chat, onto the Discord channel. Bahrain, but he has lower missile strength and less range, plus your magma cannon has leadership debuff. I don't think it matters as much here. Like, the leadership debuff and the range and missile strength doesn't really matter in terms of comparing the skull cannon and magma cannon, because like it's not enough to, like, the range speed, the range and missile strength and the leadership debuff from the magma cannon is not enough to make up for the survivability available to the skull cannon. The skull cannon can move around, dodge shots, and even heal itself with the skull feast ability, while the magma cannon doesn't have any of that. It's just like you've seen the magma cannon getting deleted by the Way Watchers. If that was a skull cannon, the skull cannon can just simply move out of the way quickly with enough speed. The magma cannon, if they have a bit more speed, maybe it will be more viable just to like maneuver out of like unfavorable positions. But man, yeah, since it gets outranged by artillery and moves so sluggishly that it loses if it needs to reposition. Yeah, exactly. Like, if the magma cannon is a bit faster, then I think it will be more viable just to like have a bit more mobility, just to move around and avoid being caught out of position. But yeah, anyways, enough of that. Let's look at the battlefield over here. Killstall versus Nurgle. Big Cat True is... Wait, hold on. Let me just check the... That is Kukinko. Kukinko of Nurgle. Playing with a line of... Yeah, Kukinko playing as Nurgle versus Bahrain playing as Killstall. Front line of Goblin Laborers for Bahrain's Killstall army. A second line of Blazing Beards and Infernal Ironstone. Very solid elite infantry there. Surrounded by some Orc Laborers. Hobgoblin and Sneaky Gits. One Infernal God with Fire Glaives. Two of them, in fact, actually. And a single Kadai Fireball. And leading the army, we have Saucer Prophet of Fire on a Great Taurus with Branding Head and Cascading Fire Cloak. Excuse me. They're supported by Demon's Tongue, Iron Demon as well, Regiment of Renown with the Flamethrower, and on the other side of the battlefield, a line of Marauders of Nurgle here, with Pestigors behind them, and yeah, multiple Pestigors just trying to swarm on the Killstall front line. Yeah, I would... Ooh, that's a lot of expensive mobility. Plague Drones of Nurgle, one of them. The Angels of Decay with the Death's Head. Extra ammunition as well. I wouldn't say this is a great pick into this matchup. Personally, I would probably not bring either of these and just get more Pestigors and Marauder Infantry. Yeah, I probably would do that. And even bring some Plague Toads just to like overwhelm the infantry and make sure those missiles are shut down. Missiles are shut down or something. I've actually fought against a Nurgle build. I mean, I didn't bring as much missiles there in that case, but they were mostly just bringing a ton of Chaos Dwarf Great Weapon Warriors. Not Chaos Dwarf, but Nurgle Great Weapon Warriors. Just bring a ton of that and then a ton of Pestigors and just crush my infantry with the sheer amount of melee available. That was quite effective. But yeah, Chaos Furies in the skies and some Murder Horsemen with throwing axes leading the army. Exalted Hero of Nurgle accompanying the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle with Fleshy Abundance, Ransom Visitations, and yeah, that's it. Ransom Visitations against Killstall, not exactly a great spell, because Killstall can just heal it back up with the Chalice of Blood and Darkness. But yeah, Spirit Leech and other kind of single entity direct damage spell against Killstall is not quite effective because their single entities can heal as you cast spell. So yeah. Anyways, we are seeing some shots from the Chaos Dwarf Lord already using the hand grenade launcher to pick off some Pestigors charging into enemy labors. But the Marauders here getting absolutely plowed through by the Demon's Tongue, even burnt by the Flamethrower as well. The rest of the Pestigors are circling around trying to get into the back line. And ooh, what happened here? Oh, explosions. Blazing Beards chucking in their explosive charges, murdering some of these marauders. Burning Head murdering another unit of Nurgle infantry. Pesticles are going down. And then Kadai Fireball saturating onto another unit of Nurgle murders. And that is most of the... Oh, this one are getting blown up by explosives. And on top of that, the Burning Head scratched them as well. So, before the 1 minute and a half mark, most of that Nurgle front line is just gone, deleted, obliterated. And at the same time, the Furies and Plague Drones are not in position to do anything yet. The Furies could have probably tried jumping onto the Inferno Iron Swan to stop them from throwing explosives, but either ways, I don't think that matters too much now, as the Nurgle infantry can't really, even if they regroup, they matter little now because they just took too much casualties. The double Nurgle characters are going after Demon's Tongue and actually did some really good damage. I assume the Angels of Decay, oh no, Angels of Decay actually didn't do anything about it. But oh my god, this Plague Drone of Nurgle absolutely murdered by some shots from the Sneaky Kids, and on top of the Sorcerer Prophet of Nurgle, shit, jumped in. Infernal Gods with Fire Glaives probably just fired at the Plague Drones and deleted them, but that doesn't matter anymore. Explosives from the Blazing Beards deleting the Furies as well. The Infernal Gods, because they have heavy armor, they don't take as much damage, and just shrugged off the explosions. And now it is pretty much in the Chaos Dwarf favor on the battlefield at this point, as the Blazing Beards are, as the Chaos Dwarf infantry are still very much healthy, and there's little hope for the Chaos Dwarf to dislodge them from any positions they want to defend with all their elite infantry. More Furies once again diving into the back of these Infernal Gods, but the Infernal Gods over here are just turning around and ready to shoot some point blank fire into the Furies. You can see how fast they go down right now, and on top of that, the Sorcerer Prophet is just smashing apart these Furies. Sneaky Kids are ready to charge in, but they probably aren't needed right now. And Fireborn finish off those Furies. Throwing Axes are in the vicinity, but they're not doing a whole lot. Pestigors got more damage, but they're just killing a bunch of chaff. So, yeah. Wait, where were the Pestigors who got a lot of kills? Oh, okay, Pestigors. These guys got a lot of kills, but not getting a whole lot of damage done, mostly just killing chaff. And now they're actually fighting something with decent melee stats like the Blazing Beards, and they just got pushed off because of how tattered they are. And yeah, that's probably going to be GG. A Ransom Visitation onto the Sorcerer Prophet. A desperate attempt here, and also because they have used some kind of spell earlier, so it's not activating the Shallots of Blood and Darkness Heal. Either ways, I don't think that matters anymore. The Angels of Decay are flying close, but they're just getting shot by Fire Glaives. They're diving down now, but the Fire Glaives also have anti-large to fight on and drag them down in melee. And yeah, Infernal Iron Swan saturating in. Fireborn are Kadai Fireborn are in the vicinity, just keeping the Sorcerer Prophet supported with a ton of infantry and as well. So we can just fast forward here as the last bit of the Nurgle army gets finished off, slowly but surely being grind down by the rest of the rather healthy Chaos Dwarf units. Throwing Axes are still sitting back and chugging in missiles, but yeah, eventually these guys even went into melee, but there's no point. Yeah, probably trying to disrupt the Fire Glaives, but there's no point doing that. They can't really beat the Fire Glaives with heavy armor and anti-large. And yeah, I think that was army losses. I don't think that I think that was not a forfeit, but yeah, solid value from those Chaos Dwarf infantry, basically obliterating whatever being thrown at them, and also good damage from the Sorcerer Prophet as well. The rest of the army not doing too hot, but the infantry managed to carry the game, and that's what's important after all. And yeah, very solid damage value from the Infernal Gods, just shooting up the Plague Drones and basically shooting up whatever that got close, really. And yeah, GG. And yeah, I feel like this is too narrow of a build of Nurgle trying to go after Chaos Dwarfs. I would probably just keep spamming infantry, cut the Plague Drones. They are just gonna get shot by enemy missiles. I'll just spam more AP infantry in this matchup. Next up, we have a High Elf versus Kislev. This is interesting. Oh, nobody saw any of that. But yeah, Nurgle's PA versus Big Ketru or Keter over here. We can see that the High Elves are going for a staunch line of spear, 5 spearmen, 5 archers, 2 shadow warriors, and 3 Elarian Reaver archers, 1 fireborn, the High Elf fireborn, not the Kadai one. And leading the army is a mage, archmage of something. I can't really tell what exactly it is right now, but we shall see. That is a live mage on a moon dragon with only regrowth, and the Book of Hweth. As for the other side of the battlefield, for the Kislev, the top tier faction right now, a front line of armored Kossars, some Kislevite warriors flanking, and a second line of Kossars with spears, Akshina ambushers, wolf hearts as well for their net, and then more Kislevite warriors guarding the rear, and a Griffin Legion, 2 of them, in fact providing them some solid mobility. But yeah, let's see what happens in this battle here, as the archers are outranging. High Elf archers outrange the armored Kossars, so they can probably try to pepper the armored Kossars with missiles, forcing the Kislevite army to move up. Ice Witch of Ice coming in with only Ice Maiden's Kiss to I guess disrupt the enemy spear line and archer line. But now the archers are targeting the more lightly armored Kislevite warriors, trying to pepper down those solid, cheap, and very cost-effective anti-large holding power. On the far side, the Elarian Reavers are actually got caught by the Griffin Legion, but the Fireborn might come in and start deleting some of these Griffin Legion. Fireborn are pushing up, and the Shadow Warriors are peppering them down as well. Elarian Reaver archers get caught by the Griffin Legion, but that is fine. They are merely bait for the Fireborn to charge in and start picking off some of these Griffin Legion. The frontline spears are holding, not making a lot of progress against the armored Kossars. If anything, they're suffering more casualties, but the Ice Witch of Ice advancing a little bit too much ahead of herself and get caught by the Moon Dragon, while the Griffin Legion will be pulling out and trying to charge back in against the Fireborn here. The Griffin Legion here are still occupied by the enemy Elarian Reaver archers and are unable to reinforce this fight, as the Griffin Legion over here take more and more damage against the anti-large armor-piercing cavalry. Oh no, the Ice Witch of Ice constantly getting caught in melee by the live mage. And there's nothing to really screen off that dragon spellcaster right now. Spears are still pinning down the infantry, and archers continues to fire in. Here it comes, a snow leopard summon from the ice mage, ice witch, throwing that snow leopard onto the archmage, and the archer focus fire, putting it down on the dragon's HP. Not a lot of armor, only 70 on the moon dragon. The Archmage of Life is taking quite a bit of damage. She might need a regrowth on herself once she is out of the enemy pursuit, but she's losing a lot of HP rapidly right now. Even the snow leopard is frostbiting her, and oh no, all the archer fire managed to take her down. Actually, all the Kossar's firepower, and that is actually a that is absolutely a huge win for the Kislev army. Though the Fireborn managed to take apart the Griffin Legion, so things are still quite even in terms of balance of power, if ever so slightly in Kislev's favor. But yeah, this is a huge loss for the High Elves, as they have no more healing, no more dragon firepower, no more healing for the Fireborn, and they have to be really, really careful in how to use the Fireborn here. Pack trap from the Wolf Hearts, pinning down these Fireborn, allowing the Kislevite warriors to try and just kill off a few more models of the Fireborn, but the spears are here to hold the line, keeping those Kislevite warriors trapped in the middle of a bunch of spears instead of going after the Fireborn. So the Fireborn managed to get out of there alive. Archers are still firing, but the Fireborn are here to delete the rest of the Griffin Legion. High Elf archers are firing and are finishing the rest of these Kossar spears and just trying to finish off the rest of these Kislevite archers. But yeah, things are looking quite rough for the High Elves, not having their Lord, not having any access to healing, but they are trying to scrap it back for sure. Shadow Warriors firing into the fray, now this time targeting the rather tattered Ice Witch. Can they land some shots here and chip more of her health away? Not really, still having 600 health left, and teetering on the verge of routing, but that means not exactly routing. Shadow Warriors are still fighting, they are still holding on and firing into the rear and flanks of the armored Kossars. Fireborn here receiving little resistance, facing little resistance, constantly trampling those fleeing Kossars, Now the Kislevite warriors are trying to help out, but they're too slow to catch up, so they're unable to intercept the Kislevite, the high elf mobility. Oh, but the Shadow Warriors are taking more and more damage. They're trying to pepper down the Kislevite warriors, knowing that this is probably the biggest threat to the heavily armored Fireborn. Though I don't like the Ice Witch getting so close here. The Shadow Warriors can switch around and shoot her and she'll be dead. She did take some damage from the miscast, so that was quite unfortunate. Down to the last 191 HP. Archers have regrouped from the high elf side, continues to shoot into the fray, just trying to chip away the health of the Cossars with spears. Fireborn continues to fight on, but there's still some Cossars, Kislevite warriors pressuring them. Oh, Elarian Reaver archers noticing the fleeing Ice Witch. They themselves are too weak to fight anything in melee or in range, so they are just going after the fleeing Ice Witch, making sure she never comes back, and go all the way to the white line. Shadow Warriors, these guys still manage to preserve their HP. And yeah, you really don't want to risk overcasting damage with like 600 HP left. Yeah, no, that was definitely a mistake. That was why the Ice Witch routed. Like, that was quite pointless as well. There's not a lot of armor on the battlefield, so you don't really need to overcast. Yeah, you don't really need to hold on. Just let me quickly check the spell. Lore of Ice, yeah. Ice Maiden Kiss and Toggle. I mean, it does more damage, but you're just dealing damage to a cheap unit. It's not worth it. But yeah, the Kislev army is now forming a defensive circle, defensive perimeter around the capture point, trying to secure those victory tickets for a win instead. But things are looking quite rough. They lost their leadership, and now the Fireborn is free to run rampant around on the battlefield, and there's little the Kislevites can do to fight back against the regrouped archers here, who are now free to just fire in and whittle down the rest of the Kislev forces. Even the Elarian Reaver archers are free to just get close and fire. Cossars with spears are turning around to fire, but ooh, Shadow Warriors charging into melee. And Fireborn continues to cycle charge, get a charge and quickly pull out. They themselves, I think they must have received some healing before the life mage went down, because you can see the healing cap there. But other than that, yeah, this is just the archers of the high elves regrouped and start shooting at the Kislev formations. Not much can be done by Kislevites. They have lost all their mobility, with their 2 Griffin Legion dying to the Fireborn. So yeah, there goes the mobility there. And they can only have, the only choice is to sit there and eat shots. And at this point, the Kislevite player, noticing that there's no way to win this game, will be calling it off. And the victory belongs to the High Elves. I'm gonna quickly check. Yeah, it doubles the damage, but you just lose the caster mid-cast on a miscast. Yeah, exactly. Like, it doubles the damage, but you don't really need that double damage. You're casting a Ice Maiden Kiss to chip away enemy health, not decide a key engagement. Overcasting, risking losing your caster for a bit more chip damage is not worth it at all. Actually, I'm just watching this replay just to see how the Griffin Legion died. So bear with me for a second here, as I don't think I really put much attention on the Griffin Legion, other than at the beginning there. So yeah, Griffin Legion charging out, but oh, they got trapped as their Elarian Reaver archers are counter charging them, and then over here Griffin Legion trying to go after the Elarian Reaver archer, and then the Fireborn charges in and start hacking them down with the anti-large AP. Griffin Legion, these ones are managed to get rid of one of the Elarian Reaver archers, but the other one just continues to charge in. More the regrouped Elarian Reavers comes in as well, just to keep bogging down the Griffin Legion, sacrificing the Griffin Legion to keep these to make sure that Fireborn had the chance to deal with the Griffin Legion. Okay, that makes sense. The regrowth, yeah, one upgraded regrowth even onto the Fireborn, so the life caster isn't completely in vain. But yeah, they noticing that the Kislevite warriors are coming back, the Fireborn quickly pulled out and decided to deal with this separated Griffin Legion instead, who are blocked down by 3 units of Elarian Reaver archers, while the spears just keeps those Kislevite warriors occupied. The rest of the Elarian Reaver archers continues to finish off the rest of the Griffin Legion, and then the Fireborn, who is very healthy due to the overcast regrowth, came back. And Griffin Legion, these ones are quite tattered, still trying to challenge the Fireborn, and that is not a fight they want to take part in. Yeah, that would be GG. Alright, next up, we have Gentle Rat with Skaven versus Nurgle's PA's High Elves. I'll see what happens here. Oh, actually, where's some water bottle? Yeah. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Fireborn carrying this roster hard. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I forgot to check the army performances. I think it's fine. We all know the Fireborn have earned back all the value. And the Cossals probably got some insane value alongside Akshina ambushes because of all the shots against the Moondragon. But yeah, now for the battle between Gentle Rat as Skavens, very true to their name, versus High Elves of Big Katru. I think that's Big Katru, right? Or Kita. Yeah, no, that's Nurgle's PA, sorry. Yeah, Nurgle's PA going with High Elves versus Skavens of the Gentle Rat. Now, Skaven Slaves in the front line as second line of Skaven Slave Spears guarding some Poison Globadiers and an anti-bow sharpshooter, Avalanche Mortars even. Excuse me. So some very strong weapon teams on the field. There is even the Wheels of Doom. Wait, what's so special about Wheels of Doom? Wait, what's so special about Wheels of Doom, actually? I don't understand. Yeah, why is there a Regiment of Renown? Zap? Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not sure why Wheels of Doom has what Wheels of Doom has as a Regiment of Renown thing. I am not quite sure, but either ways, I think our Doom will has much bigger missile damage. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't really play Skaven a lot. The Skaven expert would probably be it would definitely be Human Boy instead of me after all. But yeah, Ashen Sorcerer, which is quite a rare sighting. Ashen Sorcerer coming in. Wait, is it with the Skitter Leap? Mass stalking ability. Oh, I don't know why they brought this, but we shall see what happens here. Warlock Engineer with only Warp Lightning and leading the army of Thought Unclean to heal all these Rat Ogres. 4 Rat Ogres in total, including 1 Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep. Skaven Slave Spears guarding the rear of this Skaven team's weapon team's box, and on the other side for Nurgle's PA's High Elves, a front line of spears and a bunch of War Lions as a mobility. They are really good against weapons teams with their anti-large AP, and a bunch of Eagle Claw Bolters ready to counterfire at the enemy weapons teams as well. In this guise, Imric leading the army with a lot of dragons, Dragonhorn, no Starlands, and another dragon, the Moondragon instead this time, providing a lot of single entity terror here. And looks like the High Elves want to challenge the Skavens in terms of just long-range firepower. I think he's trying to hide the weapons teams from range. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But oh, yeah, actually. Yeah, Skitter Leap onto the Avalanche Mortars, trying to get them in range. Nancy Bobos have stock, so it doesn't matter. And Poison Wind have enough unit models that even if they get targeted, it's a cheap, cheerful unit. It doesn't hurt too much. But yeah, looks like the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers are firing at the Wheels of Doom, accidentally landing some shots on the Avalanche Mortars as well, but the Avalanche Mortars are getting close, and once they're in range, they can start deleting those spears with their devastating shots. Though, the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers are heavily targeting the Avalanche Mortars, but they are indeed starting to fire. Nancy Bubos are also in range to unleash some devastating sniper fire onto the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, and you can see the High Elves are getting absolutely obliterated. 1 Spearman deleted, and 1 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers is also almost down. And we're trying to do a breath attack on the Avalanche Mortars, but unfortunately they were in the move and dodged most of the breath attack. That was quite unfortunate there. Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers continues to shoot in. Moondragon deleted half a unit of Natty Bubos, but they still have over half of their unit models, so they can still do quite a bit of damage. Infantry. Oh, okay, that makes sense. The Wheels of Doom does have quite a different missile shot than your usual Doom Wheels. But yeah, spears are deleted by the Poison Wind Globadiers despite War Lions yeah, War Lions trying to charge in. Red Ogres immediately counter-charging, pinning down those War Lions. These War Lions are struggling to break through, and Eagle Clawbolters, 2 of them are pretty much done for. 1 more is still firing into the Avalanche Mortars, but yeah, it is quite rough right now as the High Elves are running out of melee troops in the fight. They have 2 expensive single entities, but that's about all they have for in terms of like units. However, these single entities do not have any support. So yeah, every damage they take is just, they're very prone to getting surrounded and beat down. Moondragon getting chased down by Thought the Unclean there. He does not want to just go one-on-one against Thought the Unclean. Well, he probably can. The Moondragon probably can try, but yeah, Thought the Unclean does have anti-large. Although there's indeed a regrowth healing up the Moondragon, so that's nice. War Lions continues to duke it out against the enemy Skaven slaves, and Warlock Engineer getting targeted by the War Lions, surrounded by them actually, and getting bitten up. Yeah, on the other side, Rahaga's Pride fighting desperately against the Red Ogres and Wheels of Doom and enemy Skaven slaves, but they're taking a lot more damage. War Lions, after all, is quite a glass cannon unit. They're very fragile with very weak melee defense stats. Imric is diving down. Yeah, 30 melee defense, nothing too amazing. Spearman over here, they were full health a moment ago, but then the Avalanche Mortars shot a volley in, and they are now almost at the second volley, and they're on the verge of disappearing as well. But yeah, breath attack from the Moondragon on the Poison Wind Globes. But I don't think the Poison Wind Globes matters too much anymore. There's no more infantry for them to poison wind. It's just single entities now. So if anything, the Natty Buboes would be a more important target. But either ways, the High Elves are in a pretty nasty situation right now. The Mage of Life is getting heavily targeted by the Natty Buboes sharpshooters, getting picked apart by those sharpshooting, by those pinpoint accuracy. Imric is still fighting, but he has taken some damage here. Arigo should be able to top him off nice and healthy. He's also almost full health as well. So the regrowth doesn't bring that much benefit, but it still kind of is required, because it's kind of like a preemptive healing, and on top of that, the Mage of Life is almost dead, so might as well squeeze out some more Winds of Magic before you go down, right? The Warlock Engineer is almost dead, all thanks to a very persistent effort from Imric. But on the other side, the Moondragon is heavily surrounded by roughly 2 units worth of Red Ogres, completely surrounded by armor-piercing monstrosities, and on top of that, Thought the Unclean is here, using that creature killer anti-large bonus to boost the damage output of all these Red Ogres. And as a result, the Moondragon routes, and leaving only Imric here. And with only Imric on the field, I think that's going to be GG for the High Elves here as they throw in the towel. But yeah, very nice use of the Lore of Ashen, of the Ashen Sorcerer. Very interesting use, just using that Skitcher Leap to give stock to the Avalanche Mortars, making sure that the enemy Eagle Clawbolters are unable to target this very important damage dealer, so the Avalanche can just get into range and start deleting those High Elf units from afar. Very nicely done from the Gentle Rat here. Nice damage from the Wheels of Doom, and because of all these missile units, the Avalanche Mortars, the Natty Bull Sharpshooter, and the Poison Wind Globes all getting in range intact with most, if not all, of their HP. They are able to just delete those High Elf units outright, deleting those infantry outright, and the War Lions without any infantry support are just forced to get overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Red Ogres available on the field, and Skaven Slaves as well. You can see one of the Red Ogres, 1,400 gold worth of damage value, surrounding and beating down the Moondragon. Wait, is that? Yeah, it's a Moondragon, yeah. So a very, very solid game from the Gentle Rat here. Interesting use of the Ashen Sorcerers, and we don't usually see them on the battlefield. And now one final battle for today, one final battle to cast. Khorne versus Skaven on Skybrand the Exiled, once again bringing to the battlefield double Skull Cannon, and of course Skybrand himself, a front line of 5 Marauders, 2 Throwing Axes, Murder Horsemen, and 1 single Chaos Knights. The one without lances, this is the regular one. So axe and a shield. And then in the skies, a couple Furies, a couple Flesh Hounds on the ground. That's it for the Khorne army build for the Skaven army here. Let's slow down a bit as we already see the Skull Cannon launching a shot towards the Skaven army. Gracier of Ruin on his Plague Furnace with Unholy Clamor, Warp Storm Scroll, Plague Bell, Warp Furnace. I'm not sure what this is called. Plague Bell, I guess. But yeah, Warpstone Scroll to limit enemy aerial movement if there are any flying units. But yeah, there are some today, a couple Furies, but that's about it. No no Bloodthirster or anything. Dreaded 13th. Oh wait, no Valkyrie as well. But yeah, Dreaded 13th spell to hold the line and delete enemy units with the explosion, and then Warp Lightning. What else? Howling Warp Gale to continue pin down enemy aerial movement. But yeah, and also the Bound Scorch to the Plague Bell mount. The rest of the Skaven army here is just a ton of Skaven slaves, a couple Ashen Triads, interesting enough. Not the Storm Vermin, just a ton of Ashen Triads. I do like these units, but they are too fragile to be played in a Khorne matchup. Like, regular Marauders would trade amazing against these guys with so little armor and not exactly the best melee defense either. But yeah, other than that, some Red Ogres guarding the rear, and that's about it for the Skaven army. Wait, no, Natty Boobles, Sharpshooters, and Avalanche Mortars once again. But yeah, Skull Cannons are already firing in and aiming down on those Skaven's formation. Actually landing hits on the Night Runners, doing some no-touchable damage onto their formations here. And Natty Bubbles are firing back and picking off some health off the Skull Cannon. But the Natty Bubbles, unfortunately, do not do magic damage. So the physical resistance on these Skull Cannon managed to mitigate some of those damage. Yeah. While the other Skull Cannon continues to move. And there is only one unit of Natty Bubbles. So they can only target one Skull Cannon at once. The other, while one Skull Cannon is getting targeted, the other is safely advancing. Furies are getting peppered by Night Runners, but the rest of the Khorne army are moving up alongside the tree line. This is not exactly the greatest map for artillery play, because mobility can just do this, and the Skull Cannon is getting some really good damage done against the Ashen Triads. This is why I don't like bringing Ashen Triads into melee-centric factions, because you're oh wait, missile-centric, and well, actually yeah. Not liking Ashen Triads into a lot of factions, actually, yeah. They're just heavily targeted by missiles and take a lot of damage. And Skarbrand is moving in from the side, activating that Rage Embodied, luring even the Avalanche Mortars, who are just in range of the ability, luring them into melee combat, and now the Flash Hounds piling in. I feel like Furies should charge in as well, but either ways, there are some Chaos Knights are charging in, keeping all these Skaven slaves and Avalanche Mortars on the run, and yeah, that is a mass exodus of a lot of key units on the Skaven side. Natty Bubbles continues fire and Howling Warp Gale pinning down the Chaos Furies over here on this side. Natty Bubbles just keep firing, but and picking off quite a bit of HP from Skarbrand. A little bit of a Scorch ability, but unfortunately, oh wait, no, this is Warp. Oh wait, Dreaded 13 right up behind these Skaven slaves. Oh wait, Marauders, interesting. But I feel like it would have been better if you just dumped it on top of these Marauder infantry, perhaps. But yeah, either ways, the first Dreaded 13 spell has been cast. Red Ogres are pushing back, driving back the Chaos Knights with their AP attacks. And the Night Runners continues to kite on, chipping away the Khorne mobility's health. The Skull Cannon are firing in, but mostly missing their shots. Quite unfortunate there. Skull Cannon still suffer from quite a bit of accuracy issues. Ashen Triads are trying to hold on and drag down. They are indeed fast enough to just keep up with fleeing mobility for a bit and drag down some more of these Chaos Knights HP. Now, Gracier of Ruin has taken quite a bit of damage because Skarbrand has his eyes on the prize, trying to go after that Alpha Strike, but here comes Ashen Triads, Red Ogres, everything just piling in from the Khorne army side here. Night Runners are also like moving close to just chip away the health. Oh, even Natty Bull Sharpshooters are have regrouped and start firing at the Skarbrand. But yeah, Rage Embodied. As Skarbrand charges straight through these Night Runners and luring everything into melee. And once again, the Avalanche Mortars crew fell victim to this Rampage ability. And everything that are supposed to be shooting are now in melee, which is quite unfortunate for the Skaven. Skull Cannon are doing what they do best, just going into melee, disrupting enemy infantry, and also recharging ammo, regaining health and whatnot. Scarbrand is taking more and more damage, but Fleshhounds are here to support. More Fleshhounds are there, intercepted by Skaven Slaves, but they don't really care. Oh no, is that the Sword of Khorne deleting the rest of the Night Runners here? Half of these Ashen Triads and the remaining Natty Bubo's sharpshooters. The Khorne army has engaged in melee for so long, scored so many kills, they have managed to charge up a Sword of Khorne 4 minutes into combat. Man, that was brutal. And yeah, that put the balance of power slightly in favor of the Khorne army here, and Scarbrand still hacking away at the Grey Seer of Ruin with his axe. Yeah. And yeah, the Ashen Triads continues fight on, but they're just struggling really hard against all these Khorne infantry. I mean, if they can get us around on the Skull Cannon, they can probably do some good damage here, but the fact that the Marauders are in the fight, and with 44 melee attack with Frenzy, the meager 28 melee defense of the Ashen Triads is not enough to keep them alive in battle, taking a lot of damage here. Scarbrand is still going after the Grey Seer and the Khorne mobility as well, also dispatching some routed Skaven infantry. And yeah, Scarbrand managed to secure the kill, managed to snipe out that Grey Seer. A very scrappy game indeed, but this will probably be GG for the Skavens as they have lost their head. They are a snake that lost their, they are a mouse that lost their head. They no longer have that leadership to stay in the fight, especially the Lord Death penalty to their leadership. Minus 16 leadership causes a lot of routes among their tattered units. The Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep is still holding on because they have Frenzy, and that keeps their they have immune to psychology, but that's it's more like their Regiment of Renown status, giving them extra leadership to keep them fighting. But the double Skull Cannons here, targeted by the Pit Fighters, should be able to hold on their own, given that they do have the Skull Feast ability. Scarbrand and the rest of the Chaos Knights and Fleshhounds are dispatching some routed Skaven units, making sure they don't come back, while the rest of the Red Ogres will be targeted by throwing axes, being whittled down by some skirmishing firepower. Skull Cannons continues to just heal and tank with their Skull Feast ability. One of the Red Ogres routes, and then some more Murder Horsemen with throwing axes coming in, chipping away their health. Scarbrand himself coming in. Army losses should hit soon, as these Pit Fighters probably will receive a rear attack penalty, flank exposed, and yeah, they're still holding on. Man, these Pit Fighters just doesn't give up. I mean, they're doing some pretty good damage to the Skull Cannons, all things considered, but yeah, I don't see how Skaven can pull this one back. Everything is just routed. Army losses hit, and that shall be GG to both players. Scarbrand OP, don't change my mind. Yeah, the Rampage is pretty strong. Without a tree, I would probably lose. I am not entirely sure. Like, your Furies are still are left quite far back. Yeah, probably that. Yeah, actually, the Furies will be pinned down by Howling Warp Gale and Warpstone Scroll. So, yeah, that would be quite rough. But yeah, definitely the trees helped a lot when Scarbrand can just pass through the tree line instead of getting targeted by the Natty Bubos. But yeah, very strong performance from the Skull Cannon, once again disrupting the Skaven formation, as the Skavens just don't really have the resources to block them down. And then there's the Fleshhounds there, not doing a whole lot of damage. But yeah, the Chaos Knights though just plowing through enemy infantry and also not being shot by Natty Bubos. Plowing through enemy infantry, getting to the back line, and there's Scarbrand carrying the game for sure, hacking down that Skaven leader Grey Seer. And yeah, that should be it for this one battle here. And yeah, great damage from the Skull Cannon. The Skavens tried their best to fight back, but the trees just hampered them so much here. They weren't able to get a clear shot onto enemy infantry targets. The Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep tried their best to fight on in the late game, but it's just them versus the world, and that was definitely too much of a task for these meager Red Ogres. Natty Bubos got some good damage, even if their line of sight got blocked by the tree line. A very nice play from Gentle Red, retreating the Natty Bubos to the right flank and just keep firing. But unfortunately, the Avalanche Mortars were dragged into melee by the Rage Embodied ability of Scarbrand there. The fact that Scarbrand can just plow through enemy units and just drag a ton of units into Rampage it's just too much for the Skavens. And yeah, that is gonna be it for today's battle. I hope you all enjoy this stream today. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Is Human Boy still streaming? Let me check. He is still streaming. Okay, but yeah, hope all of you enjoy the stream today, and whether you joined the tournament yourself and played, or you are just watching the stream, I hope you all have a good time on the stream. And yeah, I'll be back. We'll be back next week for more tournament battles. But for now, that is gonna be all. I'm gonna try to redirect the stream over to Human Boy there, and yeah, not that he needs any, but it's nice to return the favor once in a while. Sometimes, you know. But yeah, let me just quickly do that. How do you do that? Yeah, redirect. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Human Boy. There we go. Setting up the redirect. And yeah, that should be all today. And I'm just gonna end the stream, and everyone can move on to Human Boy's channel with his new player tournament. Hope everyone had a good time. Thank you to everyone for joining the stream or joining the tournament. Regardless, I am very grateful that you are here. If you like my content, remember to like the live stream and subscribe to my channel. Every little bit of like or subscription is just a nice encouragement to my content creating, and also as a nice boost to the algorithm as well. And yeah, that should be all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Tactical signing out. Oh, actually, I just forgot to catch up with the chat. Skull kind of really helps in this matchup. I feel like Khorne would otherwise struggle to get rid of all the infantry. Yeah, definitely. Especially the chariot mass plowing through the Skaven infantry and getting to the backline was really nice. And yeah, congratulations to Scabran as well for the win on the tournament. And that shall be it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. That's it. And yeah, Tactical signing out.